All right. So, welcome to everyone. This week is not a weekly. Believe it or not, this is an actual tournament. So, hello everyone. I am Zorflex. I will be your host for this year's tournament. This puzzle, is the warm-up non-scoring week 0 puzzle that we've been doing for quite a while now.
Since the year started.
Yeah, I think RPO did a warm-up puzzle in his very first tournament. So there you go. It goes that far back.
You did? Which one
No,
was
I
it?
think I started it.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
okay.
he started it.
It was a biggie innovation.
Yeah, I connect the dots.
Anyway,
I don't remember the. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Connect the dots. Anyway, so this is Simulacrum. This has been a somewhat divisive puzzle. I think I think first impressions are important with a puzzle. So when you look at this puzzle and you see both animismus and quintessence, you kind of freak out a little.
Scary.
It's scary. It is scary.
It's scary if it cycles.
It is scary.
Which it is.
When you first look at it, I don't.
It's a little scary for some for too.
It's actually still scary for some. I think the puzzle was a little easier than people believed it to be.
Oh, it for sure is.
Yeah, because a lot of people just took one look at it and went, "Nah, let's just skip it," and that's fine. It's week 0. It's why it's there. It's so if you don't have fun with it, you can just give up and move on to the rest of the tournament. But yeah, all right. So the puzzle originally started out as a scoring puzzle. This was meant to be part of the actual scoring tournament. And that was before I had a week 0 puzzle. So, my playtesters were like, should we actually get a week 0 puzzle going? And I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. So I cooked something up real quick. And then we realized that puzzle was actually quite interesting. And it got really interesting. It got a lot of attention from the playtesters. And so we decided that it would be a bit of a shame if that puzzle was relegated to non-scoring. So what I did was I took one look at my scoring puzzle list and thought,
And just found the worst one.
which is the one I liked the least? It was this one.
So this is the
I
floor for everything. Everything else will be more likable than this.
Well,
So
I'm
that's a good
excited
sign.
now then. Yeah, I like the look of what's the blue vitriol so far.
Yeah, I'm excited to
First
see.
impressions wise, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of Blue Vitriol as the week 1 puzzle. I'm glad people are enjoying it, but yeah.
What week is the new week then? Now I'm curious. I want to know which one it is.
This would have been the week 6 puzzles. This would have been the second last puzzle.
Oh. Yeah, second to last makes sense.
I see.
It makes sense.
Same metrics and everything.
No, completely different metrics.
Oh,
Got it. Makes sense.
Not even.
Just a different puzzle that everybody likes better. I assume there's not gonna be like a this is the big. Wait, no, there is still gonna be a this is the.
Oh no,
big
no.
week.
I meant like would if this were in week 6, would Simulacrum or whatever it's pronounced be a cycles in some 4 puzzle?
Oh yes, it would.
Okay.
It was. Yeah, it would. So the metrics for this were cycles and sum. Cycles we pick. So cycles I kind of liked because.
Wait, wasn't it some four?
Some for, yes.
Yeah, it was sum 4. Sum 4 because this is a bit of a meaty sum puzzle, and I thought, all right, let's have a sum puzzle with some meat on it, so that the sum mains actually have their work cut out for them. Cycles I liked because it related to the actual design goal of the puzzle, which was the symmetry thing. I liked symmetry as an option. It wasn't necessarily you go symmetry or bust, or it's a terrible option. It's just an option, right? You can
But they're
keep
not
things.
symmetrical.
Oh,
They
it's
are
like
symmetrical 180 rotation.
They're,
They're not
they're
symmetrical left
rotationally
right.
symmetrical.
What are
I
they?
noticed this by making a solution that's linearly symmetrical, and it fucked it up.
Yeah, somebody in chat or somebody in the Discord channel was talking about how they built it
Oh, yeah.
mirror symmetric and then they had one of them wrong and they were just upset.
I did that too. My solution is worse because of it. Also, there's a spam bot in your Twitch chat. You probably need a bag.
Sorry, I'm just got a weird promotion offer thing. Looks like a spam.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten that too. It just appears.
How the hell do I ban it?
3 dots on the right. If you hover over the message, there should be 3 dots, or over the name.
Oh, over the name. Okay.
I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done it.
There you go.
You should probably get moderators.
Oh no, I need mods. Fuck. 'Cause I'm not gonna be able to. I don't keep a close eye on my own chat. Anyway, where were we? So yeah, it was. Actually, I think we can just dive right in, right? We were gonna start with cycles.
Yeah. I guess you can
Sounds
talk
good.
about the puzzle. Yeah, we already talked about it, I guess.
That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. This used to be a simpler puzzle before I beefed it up, actually. It
Uh-huh.
didn't have quintessence. I added the quintessence.
Oh. Yeah.
The
That's
puzzle.
a big difference.
No, alright, that's a big difference. Oh, this is something I can reveal. So, this will be the only puzzle with quintessence
Oh yeah.
in the tournament.
Wow.
No more quintessence.
Oh,
And I
we're
didn't
all so sad.
So,
You
yeah.
remember the where are the goddamn medals? Now it's where's the goddamn quintessence?
This
I
is
don't
there.
think anybody's gonna miss quintessence as much as medals.
Yeah. So part of the reason quintessence was added was because I was being haggled a bit
there's no
for not having.
quintessence.
So I was being haggled a bit for not having a single quintessence puzzle, and a part of me wanted to go, yeah, but screw quintessence. But also, Simulacrum's all easy. Okay, you know, it's another Salt-like. It fits kind of well in with the puzzle. Let's add quintessence so that people at least get to do quintessence. I didn't want to reveal that before the deadline, though, because then, like, no one would have bothered, because, like, quintessence won't be relevant for the scoring puzzles this year. But yeah.
I'm
I think I
thinking of
might
the
have bothered more with it because it's the only quintessence puzzle.
memorable quintessence puzzles, Horn Silver being one, right?
Yeah, Horn Silver's one. That's
But
a
like Volatility, Tranquility, and the Active Polymerase, I think were both pretty mid, and the Quintessential Stabilizer was kind of a bad outcome, except for the fact that one person did make actually a better cycle solution than the crowd.
Quintessential
tournament's
Stabilizer,
done.
if the metric for Quintessential Stabilizer was rate instead of cycles, I think it would have been remembered a
yeah.
lot more fondly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the GAC was pretty mid as well.
I was one of like 3 people who enjoyed GAC, actually.
I mean, it's fun, but there's less competition. It's
It was one of the others, Goodbye Galaxy.
He's the one who won GAC for
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he enjoyed it though.
Sorry, which puzzle?
Quint Stabilizer.
quintessential, like yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know you won that. You won GAC. Did you actually enjoy GAC for that puzzle?
I can't even remember. I think that was one where I just lucked into the victory because I was kind of like, I finished it early and then I focused on cycles for that puzzle and like, oh, all right, I'll take the win.
What was Panic's quint puzzle? Was it week 1? Just week 1?
It was week 1. He had quintessence.
Yeah, self-pressurizing gas was a dispersion, but no unification. which is
yes.
nice.
Yeah, self-pressurizing
Horse
gas.
Silver is also only dispersion, I think. Yeah. Horse Silver is dispersion only.
Quintessential explosive from the weeklies.
There's also
you're
my
right.
puzzle, Aether Reactor.
True. You had
Mad
Quint in
Master
a
likes
chamber.
Mad Master likes quintessence
Yeah.
better than anime. I have a soft spot for the anime glyph. So
Animus Miss is the best glyph for some, is my opinion.
it's
There's lots of different ways you can handle it.
I think that's a pretty good take, actually. I always enjoy having, like, it's a hard glyph for sure for some, but like I think it hits a sweet spot of complexity where it's not like obvious there are a lot of like valid ways to deal with an animismus glyph in some context, but it's not like a dispersion.
You can do hex
glyph.
arms, you can do 2 arms, you can do 1 arm on track, like you got lots of options.
It's very open-ended, and yeah, and it's not quite like over centralizing like yeah, like some other glyphs that may be on screen right now.
I have to pay attention to Sum 4 this week because this probably won't be the only anime. Don't reveal that.
All right.
Let's have some fun watching what people made.
All right.
Yeah.
So, starting off, I don't think the overlay is triggered yet, so let me just F10 this bad boy. So, we'll be starting cycles at 30th place at 135 cycles. Trudging, welcome to the tournament.
Yo, new people. New person, let's go.
We got a number of new people.
We got a lot more views of this game in the last 2 weeks or so because of the huge Reddit boost.
Oh man,
How did that even happen?
The subreddit
What
is
am I
going
doing?
crazy. I love it.
Bro, I just
1,800 upvotes.
I just copy pasted it and moved to Critelli thinking it was my own solve. I'm not in streamer mode yet. Sorry about that.
Kelly is non-canon for the tournament, it seems.
Yeah, Critelli's non-canon. Yes. So
I don't want to see Critelli in any solves.
if there's Critelli, it has to be like a marvelous Critelli. But otherwise, don't sweat the Critelli.
So this one's
This looks a lot.
taking, let's see, close to 20 cycles for each output.
It's not full, right?
Yeah, no. So if you were to go at full rate, you can create an output from 4 of each input, which could be done every 8 cycles. And now it's
Yeah.
20 instead. So that'll take a bunch more cycles, but it makes it easy to watch the process where making 2 salts into the anime and then 2 different quints using the arms that are around it.
Okay, so there are elements of symmetry here, but the solve doesn't fully commit to symmetry. So it like partially commits.
Yeah, because it's mirrored. It's a mirror symmetry, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, mirror symmetry, yeah.
Well, it's based upon mirror symmetry, so you know the output's not gonna work.
I think there are a couple of people who are complaining about the outputs being chiral. I do apologize for that. That's a little bad, but yeah.
Definitely had to use the mirror tool a bunch of times.
Mirror tool, I think, got a lot of usage this week.
By the way, advertising for however you pronounce it, it has built-in mirror tool.
Is there a
Just-
actually?
There's a
Question-
hotkey for mirror. You just select the area and press Q or E.
Oh,
Select the area, pick it up, press Q or E. Yeah.
so if I do that,
I would love if that made it to base game.
Not including the output.
might- alright.
Output can't be mirrored.
oh, okay. Does it work? It might not. It's straight up might not work in my version. Nah, it doesn't work.
It's not on your version.
I think I have I'm using an old version of Forgetscoo, I think. I do need to update my mods.
Mine stopped working for some reason. I couldn't drag track, so I had to update it.
Alright. Moving on. Takes a bit of a dip. We're still in 3 digits at 113 cycles. Nightshine. Another new player. I think Nightshine was the person who submitted without ever downloading the game.
Yeah.
Did they buy the game this time?
Yeah, they own the game now.
Gifted it by Luna.
Luna bought the game for them, actually. It was really nice of Luna.
Yeah, they're in chat and Twitch as Nightcap D. That's the same person.
Alright, so the solution notes read, created after Sum 4. Not so much worse in Sum and just a little more swift. the slight asymmetries still nearly match up, which is interesting. Probably a poor implementation of a double pipeline design and a little amateurish, no cycles theory solve here.
It's really interesting that so many of these so far have like lateral mirror symmetry and then have to get it wrong a little bit because of the differences in where the atoms go.
Yeah.
There is a symmetry group where this completely is symmetric, and you'll see solutions like that later, I promise. Mine is one of them.
You absolutely will. Yes. That was
You do that when you have two. I guess I'll see. Because I was thinking, how do you rotationally do both quintessence and anime?
But only one of
Or
them
does it
gets to
just-
be in the middle. And then you have to have two of the other.
I feel like
That
new
seems too
players are
quaint.
averse to doing multiples of glyphs. I remember it was a bit
Yeah.
of a roadblock when I first started.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, having like, yeah, that's the thing. I think you need, to make it symmetrically, you need like 2 unification glyphs.
You could also have two animismus, but it wouldn't be reasonable because you only need one of
Yeah.
each of the outputs from it.
Yeah, or 2 animismus, but yeah. Definitely, it's not so much of a problem in some, because in some you typically don't want more than one of any big glyph, but yeah, for like something like cycles, you gotta learn to just, like, not feel bad throwing shit on the board, basically.
This is CA though.
I mean, I think I
think
have a
of a
competitive
single-
CA even with extra unifier.
Are there any sum solves with 2 anime glyphs? I don't think so. Maybe like
It just doesn't seem
general
worth
meta?
it.
Potent painkillers? Oh wait,
Potent Painkiller. Does that have?
Potent painkillers
I'm not
only,
sure.
I think you only need 1 animismus.
Let me
and
look it up.
It runs
Wow.
at full animismus rate,
Yeah.
I think.
got it.
Since you know it's one ring is Moore's, one ring is Vitae, so you could just put it in the middle between both rings.
Alright.
Master expressing curiosity about two animismus, you say?
Alright.
Check some. Yeah, there's only one.
And a Mizmai.
Animismi.
Alright, moving on real quick. We actually do not take a cycles drop, so we're still at 113 cycles, but less area. New player, I believe goes by the name Frau. Sorry if I'm butchering that, but Frau. Welcome to the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would pronounce that either.
This one is more area optimized by using only one bonding station.
So this one's very much actually area optimized.
Yeah, that's nice and compact.
I wonder if anyone cycle solves this in area.
Of course, since you're using Fugitsuku, you can't read the area. It says 58
No.
It is not.
because you have the setting where area doesn't actually calculate, so you can run things faster.
Yeah,
Oh right, yeah. Oh, it's on the
That's-
top left.
that's what the overlay's for. So that area optimization actually mattered too, because there happened to be another 113 cycle solve. So absolutely well worth it.
This is Opus Magnum in 2024. New players showing up, making the
It looks
tiebreakers
like Arm
matter.
18 isn't doing anything. Arm
At least
18
it's week
looks
0.
I'm
totally
18.
superfluous.
I'm 18's like pretending to help. It looks like.
It's like grabbed on top of the Vitae, but it isn't grabbing the Vitae.
Can we just remove it entirely, or does it do something earlier?
Nah, I
No,
don't
it has
think-
no purpose.
Nah, you just get rid of it and it works.
It's like an Arm's little brother that they gave him an unplugged controller.
That's
And see, now you drop it down to 56 area, which is still an inaccurate number.
It reminds me of when I used to play the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games, and my sister would play as Tails, but the camera only follows Sonic, so Tails just kind of gets left behind, but it made her feel like she was still playing along. It's like the actual molecule like leaves it behind, but it just like keeps pretending to follow along.
It's helping. Don't tell me that's not.
Yeah, I get that older sibling privilege in childhood.
Genius's remark about it came to work and got paid but did nothing, and I'm wondering, you spent 30G on the arm and the track. Does the arm receive that money? Or does the university receive that money?
Well, part of it goes to the union, so.
Arm 18 knows what it's worth, alright?
No low
Premium arm.
balls. I know what I have.
Alright. Moving on. Drop down to 27th place, and we do move down to double digits. We drop 32
Is it
cycles down to 81. It is Foxy
It's not
Hayes
like mine. Oh, it's not mine.
with the solution title Sorta Cycles.
I can see some hex arm assemblies. Those are some like,
Yeah, we're going to be seeing more of those.
but it's also too expensive to be some, so it is a cycle solve, sorta.
The solution notes just read probably better for cycles than for Sum 4, and that's a good shout, yeah.
I like that biome.
It's a pretty cool biome, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
so
like
Yeah,
biomes
it's
in
just a
general.
very far distance.
main point of improvement really over the last couple of solves is the rate. It's grabbing inputs quicker, and that makes a full like 32 cycles difference. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
the
count
biggest part.
If you count the period of the machine as a whole, it's 12 cycles, because you can see that's how wide the white space in the instruction tray goes for new players. And so 12 is faster. 8
Yeah.
is going to be the fastest.
If you have track loops, it might be like doubled or tripled.
That's true. You also have to know how many times it makes each output during that loop, but assuming for these simpler solves that it's going to be every loop is one output of each type. Possibly one output, period. They might have nice conditionals to make one or the other. No longer breathed in chat reminds me that that might be someone who does that.
Steven's gonna be one that's gonna do it in P4.
Oh yeah, true. Steven P4 is a great meme.
Does Steven even know about the tournament yet?
I don't know, I can tell.
I'm just gonna maybe I'll just DM Steven after the stream. Be like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, blue vitriol.
Come shitpost some more. It's fun. You'll be loved.
Please grace us with your presence if you so desire, Steven.
I talk to Steven often.
Oh yeah, no, go for it. No.
Yeah.
All right. Continuing on, we drop a couple of cycles down to 79. This will be best.
Yes, let's go. It's 4-8.
Silly. Why is it silly?
I could have zoomed out
I
a
didn't
bit
put
more.
that
for
much
this one.
effort into it. Also because I keep calling this puzzle Silly Putty.
All
I
right.
saw that you would be calling it silly putty so much, and I never knew why. Oh, but it has such good
The
feeds.
description.
Okay. Shows me that I don't read the lore.
The solution notes read, "It works and it's got rhythm."
I can't hear it. Because I have to stream mute it.
I'd turn the volume up, but then I have to like leave and come back twice. Hopefully the Twitch
Yeah, it's
can
fine.
hear it. The people watching the VOD version of this will be able to hear it. Well, at least the YouTube video, so yeah.
Yeah, Twitch can hear it just fine. It's just that me on stream, I have the stream muted.
It's quite
So I don't
aesthetic.
hear myself. Yeah. Output symmetry is a bit unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, shame about the output symmetry.
It believes
have
in
most of-
symmetry,
there's
but
also-
it doesn't achieve.
Once again,
There's also animus and symmetry.
it's almost symmetrical.
There's also animismus, but you know.
Nah.
Track arm on the side.
If I wanted to, I can have them alternate. Well, speaking of the devil, Stephen just DM'd me.
But not looking at the output asymmetry. In fact, if I just like zoom in so that we don't really see it. Look at that. That's pretty. That's super pretty. That's nice. That
I
looks like
love that the same color lines are just like a pride flag of stripes.
it is.
Opus
Nice.
Magnum.
Maybe I
Pride
should have
flag.
extended it, but I want to save cycles since this is cycles. But I
It
could
is
have
a
extended.
cycles puzzle.
If it is extended, I also have to change the timing because the 3 rows in the middle grow at a rate twice of those on the top and the bottom.
Oh, right.
So this actually is full throughput or min rate.
It is.
It
Yeah.
just because of the
For those of you who don't know where that is for week 1, this is full throughput.
This
This
is
is
what-
min rate.
Yeah, so one of the main markers of a min rate solve is that you can see every output is being grabbed every 2 cycles.
Every
One,
input, yeah.
2, 1, 2, always being grabbed without fail. So if you're worried about like a min rate, do I have min rate? Do I not have min rate? That's like one of the key factors. Alright, just check if you're grabbing everything as soon as it comes out, as fast as possible, and you're not wasting anything, then you probably have min rate.
Yeah, but then pure rejection comes in, which...
Unless there's pure rejection math.
Yeah, you can also waste things in a more subtle way. But
Yeah.
like,
I wouldn't.
in general, if you can get all the things on the board, there's plenty of space, literally infinite space, to be able to work with it. So just get
There's-
things onto the board, and then your rate should be okay.
Fair amount of space.
Yeah.
It just has a buttload of latency because it's more focused on trying to look pretty than
So
to go
maybe I
fast.
should have mirrored this because, everything on the top points down and everything on the bottom points up.
Oh, true.
Alright.
It's
Moving
just a
on.
matter of flipping animismus and, swapping the positions of the inputs.
Alright, so dropping down the 25th place, we go down 6 cycles to Cosmic Horror.
Lots and lots of new people. Let's go.
Yeah, this is great.
Maybe
is
a
Y'all
lot
better
more
be
new,
Period
here for week
11.
1.
we had a lot more new people than I think we. We'll see all the veterans coming up later, but yeah, a lot of new people. Alright, so this one I don't think sacrifices any symmetry whatsoever. I think this is this is our first truly symmetric layout.
It can't be. I mean,
Is it?
the position of things is symmetric, but the motion
Oh,
of
yeah,
arms is
position.
not. Like arm 19
Yeah.
rotates it down.
no, there's an
20
extra
rotates
arm.
it up.
There's an extra arm on the bottom half, beneath the fire,
Oh, you're right.
Oh, there is. Oh.
and it's a different position in the
Snuck in.
top.
Yeah. It believes in the symmetry, but it had to fudge it a little bit.
Again, alright, okay, alright, so we're not there yet. There's still a touch of asymmetry. Right, I should have
We'll
known,
get
because there's
there.
only one quintessence glyph, but yeah.
I do like that this one at period 11 is quite a bit slower in the infinite run than Bists, but because Bists had such a large amount of like low lead up time before it started putting out
Oh, yeah.
products, it still wins by a
Cycles
few
theory,
cycles.
everyone.
Yeah,
Latency does matter.
yeah, worse rate, but this is cycles, not rates, so the cycle count matters, so you can't just spend a lot of time setting things up. You need to go immediately, and that's what this solve does, and that's what Bists didn't, and that's why this has a better cycle count.
Mhm.
Pseudo symmetry. Yeah. A lot of pseudo symmetry happening this week.
It looks good enough to if you don't look at it closely enough.
Just don't squint. Squint? Is that the word?
Just squint at it. Squint at it.
Well, yeah, squint is the word. What?
Yeah.
My brain. I had a brain fart, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound like a word.
Anik had the same thought as me, squintessence.
Squintessence. Oh man. All right. No, squint is a word. My brain was just freaking out a bit there.
It looks good from a distance, yeah. Where's Cotelli?
Oh,
Off to the right.
off to the right.
Oh,
Don't worry, when they see the good
Aw.
solutions, the new players will realize that Cartelli is like a religion among us.
All right. All right.
My
All right.
Cotelli was in the middle.
Without spoiling the lore, your Critelli's better be good on the finale week.
Oh no.
Interesting.
Oh boy, is it gonna be aesthetics?
All right. I'm not that crazy. I'm not gonna put tournament points down to a subjective opinion, but
Well,
if
this is the tournament by Mr. Critelli himself.
But if I were to score points subjectively, the next solve would be doing pretty well because coming in at 69 cycles, 420 area is no longer breathed in.
That's the deliberate secondary.
Nice. Oh, 694.20. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she was able to do it without period 8. This is all conditional.
Oh,
It's
it's
the problem
more
that-
as well.
That triarm on the top left is splitting the streams between the two different quintessence.
I'm curious how all the new players found this game. Is it all just from the post? Or from the Reddit posts?
Oh, Reddit's been popping off like ever since. Like
Yeah,
you'll-
there have been posts with 1,000 upvotes, many with 400 or 500 that are from new players just saying, "Hey, I've got this game. Let me show you what I made on day 2."
Yeah.
Like I tried making like a Reddit post. It's like week 1 blue vitriol, go solve it. And it just got buried because there's too much shit on the Reddit at the moment.
Yeah, people having fun with just the base game.
Yeah. Is there anyone in the Twitch chat right now that like found the game on Reddit in the last week? Because if there is, that would be awesome. I'm expecting to see a couple more like that in blue vitriol, but hey, yeah, there is. Nice.
Alonzo is the one who sent it the very last minute as well.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, we do have your submission, Alonzo. And yeah, it'll probably turn up towards the end of the stream because we do showcases last.
Oh, it's gonna be in the showcase?
Yeah, it's a showcase.
Just due to the late submission.
I think so.
Yeah. I also, when you said Cosmic Horror was new, I was like, I recognize that name, but I know they haven't submitted for anything yet. So yeah, they've been playing for years. First tournament.
Welcome to the tournament. It's a different experience to playing the Opus Magnum casually.
Everyone. Yeah, especially once we get to scoring weeks. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, things will there'll be a lot more anxiety this time next week. Trust me.
You ever got to min primary and only got in like 30th place? That happens in the tourneys.
So she apparently didn't even target 69 420. It was an optimization that saved 20 gold and happened to leave at 420 area. And she was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I assume it means it just she didn't further optimize it.
I mean,
it also
need to. It's perfect.
Yeah, it does also say that in the notes. This was 69 422, but I managed to drop 2 length, 2 tracks, and also save 2 area.
422. Oh, area. Oh, that's area, right?
Yeah.
I also like how, because it has to output... Sorry, it has to output on each side at period 8. There's a second bit of conditional logic where there's a grab on either earth, water, or air, fire that only happens half the time because it has to finish bonding 4 of them together before it'll succeed.
Alright, I scrolled in too far. So it's this conditional arm 16 right here. See, it does a ghost grab here because everything is at period 4. The whole thing period 4. And so because of that, it only grabs once every 8. So it just goes ahead and grabs thin air for one of the periods and then actually grabs what it's meant to grab on the other period.
Yeah, if you followed on Reddit, No Longer Breathed In's solutions, she's been posting albums quite often that have low period max rate solutions, and it's very cool how much of this sort of tech shows up when you're trying to solve it that way.
At Steven.
And trackless. No, wait, almost trackless. There's one piece of track.
Yeah, there is a track.
There's like 2 hexes of track.
Yeah.
There's at least not a trackless restriction, but this one would have been trackless with a different... I guess it'd have to be a piston there.
Yeah, you could have, if you really wanted to, make it a piston, but pistons are more expensive. Alright.
It is area secondary.
Yeah, but it's already at 420, so...
That's area.
Is it really worth improving?
Mhm.
Alright. Dropping down a couple more cycles to 67, we have Rat Massive, who I believe...
Should have been 2 cycles more.
At least we got a 69. We can walk away happy. Alright.
Yeah.
So Rat Massive, I believe, joined late last year in the weeklies. So I believe this is Rat Massive's first tournament as well. Welcome to the tournament. The solution... the solution notes read, doesn't run at input speed, boxed myself in with the quint glyph, but it works somewhat.
Yeah, I can see that it got boxed in, but I do like how it has a very good dodge for the lower product, where that arm on the track has to get out of the way.
I guess this is a good, like, this would have been a good example of, like, you could have used a second quintessence glyph so that you didn't box the first one in, I guess.
This is so clunky, though.
Quintessence is very... You're right, yeah, that's easier said than done, though. It's a clunky-ass glyph, and that's just, like, yeah, you're committing to a more demanding and complicated and hard pipeline.
Or single atom inputs are also very clunky.
Yeah, a bunch of single atom inputs. They're good for hexams, though.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll see later.
We'll see that. Yeah, we'll see that in the other metric.
Cause alright, just on a tangent, on some tangent real quick. Cause with inputs, for some reason the campaign has tends to have more hexarms in some records than the journal. And my theory for this was always that it's because the campaign almost exclusively uses single atom inputs.
Ooh,
That makes sense.
So so if that is true, then it would follow that single atom inputs are good for hexarms. Like, they work well with hexarms in some. So there's a bit of some theory postulating for you.
That
Even
makes
better with
complete
some
sense.
4.
And exactly, because wheel arms also save instructions. So if instructions is relevant, then yeah, even better. There's a piece of... I shouldn't talk about some yet. I'll just move on. Getting ahead of myself.
Getting
All
ahead
right.
of yourself.
Some names in...
Some mains in voice chat. All right. Dropping down to 22nd place. We drop below 60 cycles. We go to 59 cycles. With Egg Sucker AAA.
That's a name
That's
I've
also
never
a new
heard.
name.
That is, I'm pretty sure there's another new player. Welcome to the tournament. Glad to have you.
All right, this
Hey,
is...
yo, they're in the
it's
chat.
not trackless. There is a track.
Almost trackless.
And this is period 8. It already has the good first digit on cycles. It doesn't go below 50.
No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, I guess I could just say Theory Min. So Theory Min,
Yeah.
the lowest possible cycle count is 51.
Oh, 51, okay.
Yeah, because you need 2 cycles to be able to bond the earth or the fire in, and there isn't the second place you could put those atoms because you'd need a second cycle for calcifying if they were the center. So it takes 2 steps after you grab on 48, and then you have to move and drop, and that takes you to 51.
So I guess
And
the
if you
idea
wanted
here,
to, you could calcify, tri-bond and then calcify.
'cause I guess the idea
Yeah,
is
but that's still 2 steps.
So your lowest latency atoms are these 3 in the middle: the salt, the water, and the earth. And so take the salt and earth and just dedicate it to this output. You can put that water, that can be latency 1. The problem is neither the salt nor the earth can be latency of 1, because the earth, you need 2 cycles to bond because it's at a 180-degree angle, and the salt, you could bond in 1 step, but then you also have to calcify it. So it is not possible to get all your inputs as part of the product in latency 1. So latency...
Is it possible to have the salt as one of the last inputs?
Oh yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah, it's possible, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you either, do the salt thing and just make all 3 bonds on your very next cycle, or
So
or you bond early, or you use the like Earth/Fire atom and just like have that bond last instead. But that's if we were that's at theory min. This does not do that because this is not theory min. But it is.
in case you're.
No, you
Oh,
go.
you go first. You go first.
Oh, so
I was
this
gonna
is
say
this is min rate. So we are down to latency pretty much.
But yeah. In case you're curious how it's calculated, it's four total pools of the atoms and input atoms per set of outputs. So that's 4 times 2 is 8, and for 6 products that's 48. And then you add 3. It's 2 latency plus 1 drop.
Unless it's a polymer output, in which case you don't count the drop, which is
Yeah, you
even
don't need a
simpler.
drop.
But
Yeah.
that usually doesn't happen because most puzzles you have to drop.
Period 9 could be possible. It
Yeah, I
certainly
mean,
is.
period 9's min, if you were to make an output every 9, would be 56, so you could still see some of those.
Min latency period 9. If
Alright.
you're already at min latency, why even period 9? But
You have an arm that can't reset in time, probably.
yeah.
Alright, so we don't actually have any 56s. We move straight on to 55.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So in 21st place we have Series,
Series.
which I believe is
yeah.
another new name. I've been seeing her pop up in the Discord a bit.
Oh, this has 2 quintessence glyphs, and it uses a biarm beautifully to load them, but it isn't symmetric.
No.
It's just 2 quintessence because you can make it really pretty.
Very nice biome in the middle though. That is pretty. Alright, so this one has some pretty in-depth notes, so let me zoom out a bit before I read them. Good enough. Alright, this is a CAG solve, as is probably apparent. My children brought home some of this rather bizarre substance, so naturally I had to recreate it. After reverse engineering the formula, I put together this machine. There were some difficulties, as initially I had incorrect chirality on the vitae containing putty component. Regardless, I am rather satisfied with this result. It consumes the basic elements equally, and it outputs putty with enough speed to be slightly concerning. My only regret in this solution is the sheer quantity of moving parts. I am sure that with clever reuse, the number of arms could be cut down. Whether speed could be maintained at that point, however, is a different question.
Yeah, she's the one who is complaining about chirality the most visibly in Discord.
Yes, actually,
I
I do
checked
remember that.
Discord this morning.
Oh, it
There's
was...
chirality and recent, and there are 5 from her.
I mean, it's chiral, but that's the problem.
Yeah, it is chiral.
And of
I
course, I
guess
saw
I have-
Spiritual Shampoo saying it sounds like a skill issue because that is the attitude one of our top players holds.
That's a very spiritual shampoo thing to say.
That's a very spiritual shampoo thing. Yeah, skill issue.
The 2 arms on the quintessence that just get the atoms out of the way. They just shuffle them back and forth.
They got a dodge to do.
I got a couple of DMs from Spiritual Shampoo with like, there were gifts of cycle solves, and like they were both at a cycle count that was not min, and he had secondary optimized, not at primary min. I think he did it deliberately as a joke.
Okay, okay. That's kind of hilarious.
It's pretty good, actually.
Like, sitting on his own, like, upside down throne of shitposts.
Alright. Still not... Alright, so now we finally crack into the top 20. Coming in at 54 cycles, we have Fifi and Art.
They're in chat too.
Welcome to the tournament, Fifi. This one I can zoom in quite a bit.
Oh yeah, that's symmetric. Oh yeah, that's symmetric.
Do we finally
it's
have
good. It's so good.
we have complete symmetry, I think? Let's go.
Finally time. Finally
It's
time
time.
for that double quint.
All right, no solution notes. Just arms and pistons enjoying the moment.
Not a cell phone in sight.
Symmetry is not real. Symmetry is real. It's finally real.
And look at how much more compact this was than some of the previous imperfect symmetric solves. Symmetry doesn't even meet your very inefficient area-wise. You go, Fifi.
And it's got a good height, so I can zoom in, and we can appreciate the symmetry. It looks so nice. So, as you can see, 2 quintessence glyphs, not 1. That was, I think, the key to not having to worry about the chirality stuff so much.
Yeah, 2 also feels optimal for cycles. Because
It's like invisible ink.
Yeah.
And because I was hoping to see solves exactly like this when I made this. And it was partly why this was week 0, because I'm like, if it's non-scoring, well, the symmetry thing is just fun. So if people can figure out, like, a really fast symmetrical solve, it's just going to be fun and pretty, and it'll be good to show, and, you know, you have more fun making symmetrical stuff. Because I remember back in Quintessential Stabilizer, because I never realized that you could go under 31 cycles for that puzzle. And so I'm like, oh, I can just do it symmetrically. And that meant I only had to work out half the machine. Because I could just copy-paste the other half. So yeah, so I was kind of.
Romney came in and.
And then Romney came in and found the
By
most.
the way, you can
so
pre-build and it's
symmetrical.
going to be like 3,000 gold, but
It's
it'll
gonna be
win.
the most cursed.
It was
30.
still symmetrical, I think.
Was it?
I only remember it as an Eldritch Horror. I've lost
It's
the
an
rest of
Eldritch
that
Horror,
from my
but I
mind.
think it was still symmetrical.
I don't think it was symmetrical.
Was it not?
I remember that solve vividly because it cost me first place.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
You had the best, cheapest 31.
You nearly
Yeah,
clean
the
swept that
cheapest
week.
32.
Oh, you nearly got double first place then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Meanwhile, my close call for first place is stolen by Grimmy.
Well, on that
Alright,
same
hydroponic.
Quintessential Stabilizer week, because Goodbye Galaxy won the GAC, I got second in GAC, and that was my first ever tournament week. So I nearly
boy.
won. I nearly got a W on debut.
Nearly won,
Alright.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot that there was a time before you submitted, and when you started, you were like, I have to put up this huge, like, I have this standard that I'm holding, and that's really, really intimidating to try to keep up.
At least that year wasn't as competitive.
Yeah, for all the people in chat, Zorflax is one of the best solvers in the world, but he's too interested in participating for content to actually beat us all at this game.
I have my way with this game, I guess, is one way of putting it, because when I'm like try-harding, I tend to stack up pretty well against like everyone, and pretty much no matter the metric, but
Yeah, except sometimes you try too hard and burn out.
except sometimes, yeah, I can get a bit try-hard about it. It's
Shout out
kind
to
of
the end game when you won it and it was worth nothing.
Oh, no.
that hurt. Oh yeah, except for computation.
It was a men primary win too.
Unique 26 area solution.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a primary win.
Oh yeah, Josh points out
You
except
beat
for computation.
Shadow Cluster in primary area.
I beat Shadow Cluster in primary. That was cool. That's still cool.
Primary area, yeah.
I don't care if it was non-scoring. That was cool. Everyone's like, nah, you can't do it without track, and can do it without track. I found it on an accident. Anyway, enough spitballing. It is time to move on. In 19th place, we have not a new name, but a returning one. Welcome back to the tournament, Rethaniel.
Yo.
It's been a long while.
It has been a while since we've seen a Rethaniel.
Its name returned.
Was Rethaniel in any tournament puzzle since week 1 of 2019?
Wasn't Rethaniel around for most of 2019, or?
I know that he was in week 1 because I remember that was where we realized how bad the scoring system was at first, where his secondaries being bad meant that he got like 2 out of 10 points because of Greemy and me getting and Eva getting 17s.
That hurts.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we have to change the score system because real high effort solutions are getting just screwed over beyond.
All right, so this is very pretty, very symmetrical. One thing that catches my eye, if we play the solve out and zoom in, check out the arm 10 pivot, pivots to arm 21, which also pivots, and then it outputs. So it does like it does this like
Double
pivot transportation.
Pivot.
The pivot express. I'm zooming in even further. Whoops.
Oh no, it's solved. Zoom tool is janked.
It's too useful to not use, but like, yeah, it can be jank a bit. And it's not compatible.
There's even more jank when you...
If we can have, yeah, a non-jank zoom tool would be like that'd be like, that's like the, how to put the, I forgot the term.
I suddenly forgot it.
Holy Grail?
I know what you're trying to go for.
I was gonna say gold standard, or like the big,
That's the dream.
The dream. It's the dream of
dream.
the QOL Fujitsu stuff. It would be
Mr. Puzzle, when you gonna implement
Holy
it?
Grail. Holy Grail. That's it. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, there it is. There's the word.
Oh man, I was trying so hard to get to Holy Grail. A non-jank Fujitsu compatible zoom would be like the Holy Grail of quality of life mods in Opus Magnum.
Just implement it if it's good.
Oh yeah,
It's
easy.
a QOL mod already.
Pivots of
Did
the week.
Nathaniel know?
Fine.
Did Nathaniel know that this is an area secondary? Arms 11 and 12 could be pistons and save you an area.
Oh yeah.
2 area even. 4 area.
There's not really any pistons here. This looks like a Koslov. Not a Cycles Koslov.
Some people are just philosophically against pistons.
I understand this. Lars Dahl being like the Reddit example, but I have felt the same.
That's literally me in some. Don't use pistons in some, or you'll make me sad.
I have to say,
I'm
I
so
tried
sorry,
pistons in
Zorflax.
some 4.
I used
Tried
pistons in some 4.
Oh, jeez, and Biggie used them.
My solution is titled
we're
"He
getting
Done
messy
What in
here.
His Cup."
So what were you saying, Goodbye Galaxy?
Oh, I was saying I tried pistons, but Biggie said she actually used them.
If the winning solve has pistons, then I have failed as
The tournament's
as
over,
a puzzle
everybody go
designer.
home.
Yeah, I think we just wrap it up. Sorry.
Wasn't it very close to having what was it? It was the Spicy's puzzle.
Yeah, it was eye drops of irritation.
Oh yeah, Drops of Irritation.
Piston nearly beat, like it was nearly the winning Zorflax versus the world solve. Nearly had a piston in it, and that would have just hurt on a personal level. Piston cup.
The piston.
The solution notes read, "This is a note.
Yes.
Important.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
Important."
I know Nathaniel has the next lore for their workshop puzzles person.
Rathaniel
And
has
also Alchemical Slack
Rathaniel.
person.
I think Rathaniel's one of the best puzzle designers out there.
Yeah.
Did they do alchemical
They make
slag?
slag, yeah? Yeah, I think they
boy.
did slag.
I think they did Slag, and they might have done one other.
They
That's
have
in
like
the
a
journal.
20-something journal or workshop series that's like symposium on something. It's a very cool series of hard puzzles. A lot of them in cabinets.
Let me check if there's any other journal puzzles.
28. Oh yeah, Yosh is gonna know this way better than I am.
Yeah, I think Yosh and I are both admirers of Rathaniel's work on the workshop.
Nathaniel also hosted the TIS 100 tournament when it happened, and that was a fun time.
If Rathaniel ever decided to come back to host an Opus Magnum tournament, I'd be hype as shit for that.
Yeah, so if you go in the
Somebody
journal
would
and you
die
see
during
any
that tournament.
if you see any puzzles that have price A as the credited author, that's Rathaniel.
Rathaniel's also very good at writing lore. Alright. Moving on though. Hopefully we get more prettiness, but who knows? Down to 18th place.
Yeah, they also did Animismus Buffer.
That's it. They did Animismus Buffer. That was another one I was trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm
They
looking
did.
at the
Another very
and Vanishing
annoying puzzle.
Material.
Oh, and vanishing
Vanishing
material.
material is also. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
The
just
most
I'm just
annoying
looking
raid
at the
puzzles.
journal right now.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
also a lot of
people who are new
Clusetter
didn't
S. You can guess
know.
who that is.
The people who are new didn't even know. A lot of the journal entries are made by community members, and the names that you see there, you can find out who's who and actually link them together. Cluster is Shadow Cluster for one.
Clusetter S, yeah. Just S Clusetter.
All right.
There's also
Oh.
Adam V, that's Grimmy, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. So we'll move on though. So dropping down another cycle to 18th place, we have 42 Genius 42.
Nice. He was saying in chat he hopes to get top 20, and like he obviously did, but
Top 20.
very cool.
53.
No longer symmetric.
Oh.
I've been personally enjoying Genius 42's slow but inevitable, inexorable improvement as a player. It is every year just gets a little scarier and always chipping away, hitting his goals, and I think it's really cool. There was that one weekly last year, a couple of years ago, where he nearly won, and I would have popped off so hard if he won.
Oh yeah, he was on Team 42, but I took the week completely off. It was a cabinet puzzle, and he showed up with second place.
Nearly won VI. So he's a VI
Whoa.
main, maybe. Alright. There are notes for this one. Seem to be drawing inputs as fast as I can. What a bloody mess this is, though. The Earth swing at the top tried to overcome in many ways, as it would have saved a lot of area. And some of the swings and more open space near the Moors and Vitae are not fully satisfactory. I did reduce area by 20 hexes with slight alterations over time from what I had for a while, so it is improved. Arm 9 being a piston helped saved an area, so I'll go with that. Every little hex helps. However, I suspect this is min +2. You would be correct. This is min +2. I think you would need Cycle 8 to salt an atom at the same time as draw an atom from the opposing output and connect that to a quint. Then Cycle 9 to move the salt to the center of a triple bonder while simultaneously joining all three of your adjacent atoms. Then Cycle 10,
like
move
a
it all
wonderful
over the
option.
output, and Cycle 11 a drop. So that's one of the routes to min cycles. You can put a multi-bonder and put the salt in the middle of the multi-bonder and bond all three at once. I think we will be seeing that happen.
There are a handful of ways,
Or
but
you
they
can
all
bond
require a
on.
lot of things to happen at the same time.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways, which is another reason I like cycles for this puzzle, but none of them are easy. Fit all that in with creating the other output, and I can see if 51 is possible. I didn't do that, though. And I may be completely wrong about all this. No, your instincts are correct, genius.
It's cycles theory. It's usually pretty concrete.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting better at cycles theory. He's getting better at all the metrics. The year is 20XX, and Genius 42 will have improved so much that he ends up sweeping. You heard it here
2042,
first.
Genius 42 is the champion. 2042. Just wait.
This year it's top-
have tournaments for that long.
It'll be like, this. Oh yes, wait, I got top 20, and next year it'll be, oh, I got top 15, and then like 4 or 5 years from now it'll be like, oh yes, I got top 3 every week, or something like that.
Oh boy, top 3 every week is something not even Pentapig can do.
Yeah, last
in
year
this
it was like
competitive
competitive. If
environment.
you were top 10 every week, there was only one person who kept that up. Pentapig was by week 4 outside of the top 10 at least once. Shampoo was the one who lasted.
You made it all the way, didn't he? Without
Spiritual
dropping the top
Shampoo
10.
was a very consistent.
Yeah, Spiritual Shampoo was the only person to stay top 10 every week. Pentapig had a few off weeks. I had a few off weeks. Hydroponic Solution, by week 3, I was well out. Week 1, I was out for second for the sub metric, right?
Week 1 is hard. Week 1 last year was hard.
Week 1 last year was quite hard.
Yeah, we just straight up thrown in with Lex C.
Oh man, I spent so long.
Thanks, Panic.
I spent so long thinking I could get Theory Min like C. It would have been cool if I did, but yeah.
I burned out. I spent 30
Did
hours
anybody
on.
get it?
No.
No one got
I
it.
had one tile of overlap in one that had to put a bonder on top of one of the glyphs.
It made me, yeah, the fact that no one ever got it, despite it being week 1 and everyone, including me and Biggie and a couple of others, really try-harding.
Week 1 dubious min.
Suggests to me that it's like a Surrender Flare 16 thing, where it just might not be possible.
Yeah, an unwinding 16 thing.
Yeah.
That was another where it was like, okay, theory's one lower than everyone got.
Maybe it's just not happening. For complex geometry reasons, that'll be practically impossible to formalize. Alright, so, moving on. In 17th place, still at 53, we take a sizable area drop, though, down to 118 hexes. Username Void, with the solution title, +2 for Annieface.
Oh yeah. I'm sure people at 53 probably all know they're +2.
And we got fake symmetry. SMH.
SMHMH.
Yep. As you say, only one quintessence glyph. I know what the word glyph is. So, not in the solution notes, but I think username Void told me in DMs that he didn't have as much time as he would have liked on this puzzle because he's been really busy, so which is why he was a bit sad he couldn't get min cycles. So yeah, +2 for Annieface, but still a noble attempt. Still well within the top 20, so got that going. That's pretty good heading into a tournament because apparently top 20 is the new top 10.
Jamu calls out, Arm 20 swings through both of the other inputs while they fly to the quint glyph. It's a really cool swinging.
Alright, so Arm 20,
At the top.
very top of your screen. It's, oh, that is a cool swing. It actually technically does it twice, because it does it here, because it clips into those, and then it does it a second time. That's actually cool. So I guess with these, we're getting close to theory min, we can probably start to figure out where latency is lost. I think both...
If you want to look at just the last two, then there's probably going to be something that they have to wait on. Like, the last two themselves can get there in time, but then you have to go find the quint or something.
It's the quint, I think. I think the whole thing, see, it's all bonded up right here, and it just has to wait for... And it takes 2 cycles to bond quint on, so... I think that's where the 2 cycles are. Alright. Continuing to move on, though. We've still got quite a few solves to go, so I'll try and keep the pace up. We jump straight down to min. It is time for min.
Oh, okay.
16 people, congrats.
No
Now we have
min
an
plus
area
ones.
race.
No min plus ones. You hate to see min plus ones anyway, because people get really, damn it, I didn't get min. So, none of that this week. Everyone from here on out gets 51. Starting, so before I...
This is the amount of competition for this tournament. Half the people got minimum primary.
Yeah, 15 people got min primary on this puzzle. So there was a bit
15?
of a 2-horse race for min up. Because area's the
they were
secondary.
trying to area maximize.
Area's secondary. So there was a bit of a race to see who could get the worst secondary at min primary. It was between Cuckoo 52 and Mad Master 5000. They both have their solution titles men up, so they were both trying to maximize area. Mad Master won with 594 area.
Amazing.
With no unused parts. How batched is it? I have to wonder.
Very.
Yeah, you have to batch to be able to get a huge stick to swing. Oh, Madmaster is one of the 2 people I would expect to be
symmetrical.
man-upping.
It is symmetric, though. And it loops.
It's only 158
That's
area.
still-
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, of course. See, I can show you why my area count doesn't work. So I can just hold 2, and none of the swing space is counted, because if I count the swing space on my machine, then the solves will run slower. This one's already, it's quite running at 60 frames per second, so yeah, it's important, because it'll save a lot of processing power. So I can show bigger and clunkier and more cursed solves.
Small Crap in chat is saying that they Oh yeah, 16th place was skipped for some reason. Why that happen?
You said 15 people, and then I was like, but there's only 16 left. You
Oh, I
skipped
forgot
Small
Small
Crepe.
Crepe.
16th
Oh,
place.
I'm so sorry. I forgot someone. Oh my god, my bad. No, thank you for telling me that. Sorry. 16th place before we get to the Monop race is Small Crepe. I'm so sorry. How did I miss that?
With small soul.
Damn. Sorry, Small Crepe. Sorry, it was another 50. I think because my brain saw there weren't any 52s, and I was focused on that instead of noticing that there was another 53.
This one is optimal with its
Because
timing on
again
Quint.
twice.
So,
Like
so this is the best 53. So this beat username void by 2 hexes for the best non-min solve.
Oh, I see why this one is +2, because it's the last set of fire, air, earth, water that go into Quint, and so that becomes 3 cycles for Quint and 1 cycle for bonding, which is 2 slower than if you were to use those last 2 atoms for the output itself. So
You
this
mentions in Twitch chat that she made tiny area improvements. You beat username void by 2 hexes, so they absolutely
Oh
mattered.
yeah.
Micro optimizations matter
It's also better aesthetically.
until they don't. Sometimes you can like make like a bajillion micro optimizations and it doesn't get you any placements. Biggie's pretty good at that actually.
Holly points out the same thing I was going to, that this is the same sort of mindset as Rethangel's solve.
I noticed that as well.
You can just piston out with 10 and 9 and that'll save you 4 area.
Would not have mattered.
Yeah.
But that is true. If you're looking for an improvement, ARM 9 and ARM 10 could just be pistons, and that would have saved you another 4 area. Moot point though, because you didn't need the 4 area.
But the crepe could have been smaller.
Smaller crepe.
Smaller Crap. There's a lot more goes in this tournament now. I've noticed there's a lot more girls in these tournaments now.
I noticed
doing
that
my
as
part.
well. Absolutely true. There are like, when we started the pronouns thing, I think a couple years ago in the weeklies, it was mostly he, him, and now it's like,
Yeah.
now there's a lot of diversity in the pronouns section, which I'm a fan of.
It's a bit more balanced now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm liking them. Like,
I'm
okay, we got
enjoying
some actual balance.
I wonder how many are trans.
We are.
You don't ask that in the pronouns field. You just ask pronouns.
Yeah.
All right. So back to our Monop race. So we'll
Some
touch
of the
back.
same people with different pronouns. Yeah.
We'll touch back on this solve. Real quick before we have a look at the other Monop solve. But you see, key feature of Monop. You want to. So the Monop stands for max area, no unnecessary parts. So that is important because you could just, if unnecessary parts were allowed, I could just like put glyphs here. Hey, look, I'm increasing the area. Yay! We're increasing the area. No, don't do that. No unnecessary parts is an important distinction because it means everything that you see on screen is needed for the solve to work. I can't take a single arm out or a single glyph or track or whatever and expect the solve to continue to work. So that's what makes this something meaningful to go for. And so it's worth keeping that in mind when you see these like giant ass animismus sticks being swung around, because that's like, you need that stick. You need that stick to get all the way here, and it's kind of doing it in a deliberately inefficient way, where it just sweeps over as much area as it needs to, and you still need all of that animismus because you see it gets used here for the final bonding step, and then like, yeah. So Monop tech.
Man, if it's actually won by a man this time.
The anime locations are really unfortunate if you wanted to reduce area for some reason. Yeah, why would you want it though? Panic's saying, I think the arms could be spinning a bit more wildly. You know what? I think Panic's right. I think the arms.
Yeah, I think they could rotate inside as well.
The
Just leave a
arms
little
on
bit
the
more area.
the arms on the very sides, arms 20 and 24 here. I reckon they could have done a bit more of a swing.
Yeah, they could do a bit more spins to give more area.
That's free real
The top and
estate.
bottom ones as well.
It hit 600.
That's free real estate. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like the arms on the very top and the very bottom, they can probably swing inwards as well.
Well, I can't actually check to see if that's counted. Oh, well, I guess I can... Yeah, they're not counted. No, yeah, this stuff here. That's all unused textures as well. And there you go. There's room for improvement. Alright,
Also
so...
knowing necessary instructions.
Yeah, actually.
I guess it's also doing that.
Madmaster 5000 writes in the notes, if you don't do well in the given metric, choose a better one. Alright, so the other Manup solve is Cuckoo52, who clocked in at 558 area. Okay, I have to zoom out even more for this one, though.
Oh boy.
This
Oh,
isn't
this one isn't
symmetric, the
symmetrical.
two different track things. Oh, because making a much larger stick of quint? Or no, it's just feeding the top
Quint
first and
stays
feeding
in
the
the
bottom
middle.
second. Yeah, it's really just anime swinging contests. Whose anime swings longer?
You know, if I were to guess two people that would do mana, there would be these two people.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, there are arms that could be swinging, or could be like dancing around that aren't doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we had the sweep around one, there was a specific restriction of no track because you could just use the track and then make a larger track, and that would still be one
yeah.
part.
This matters.
So there's
What if you get a tournament host crazy enough to actually use Manup in a scoring puzzle?
We need to know the tech. We need to know the valid tech.
I feel like it's definitely possible. You can probably just say like no unused track as well. Like an arm actually has to go over it.
Well, it's cool that you can batch out a 51 like this, but I would imagine that is only being done for the max area. If there are people trying to area optimize who are batching it, that will be the next ones we see, I expect.
Alright, so the next solve we see is a playtest solve. It is Panic. And from memory, no, it does not batch. So I don't think any of these will.
All right, and we're at 130 areas.
Do we
so
have a drop
nice.
then? 130.
what?
Yeah, that's a drop.
Yeah, it's a it's a drop. No, Panic did not Manup optimize. No, this was the playtest solve. This is Min. I think we decided on the area secondary after this was made, so I don't think this is optimized for secondaries very much. This was just oh cool, symmetric solve, min cycles, because you know you need to make sure the math actually checked out. We didn't see any gaps in the logic this time because we did that in Black Powder last year, so I had to make a bit extra sure. So we have this solve. And it was symmetric, and Panic's like, oh, cool, it's pretty easy to make. And I think it only took him like an hour or two or something to make this. And so we used that as a basis for like, okay, this is, alright, so this is week 0. I don't think this will be too difficult. And I don't think, it wasn't that difficult, but it was still pretty scary looking in the end. So I was actually a little bit, I was actually a little bit. Yeah, it only looks scary. It's not as scary as it looks. So I came in, when I dropped week 0, I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. Once people, like, open the puzzle and work out the math and stuff. Like, the veterans, at least, will be like, okay, I can just get in. And
the veterans are like, I don't have to pre-build, let's fucking go.
Right, that was the main thing. I wanted Min to be possible without pre-building being, like, a good way, unless you're doing Manup. Like,
if you want to see a puzzle that needs pre-building, just go look at Quintessential Stabilizer. It's a similar puzzle, but it's much worse in cycles.
Yeah, poor Brookie didn't consider pre-building when he made that puzzle. So we had to make sure, like, okay, is pre-building going to help in? No. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the difference in how many bonds various parts of the outputs have is the only thing keeping this from being a pre-building puzzle.
Oh, yeah. So, I think it was originally suggested that instead of the output shape that I had, that we do, like, a horsey output shape, like that. But I think if you do
Oh.
that, then L equals 1 is possible, and I think that makes pre-building a lot more viable.
Oh, it's necessary because then you're limited by getting Quint
Oh,
out, which
yeah,
has to
'cause
be
then
done
you
more
can,
than 2 in time. You can't do Quint or anime with the
Yeah.
second last set, so you would need to make 2 outputs at least per.
Because you can tribe on Horsey output.
Yeah, so...
Horsey would have ruined me.
Yeah, Horsey was suggested, but I'm like, no, wait. I think we need that extra cycle of latency, and we did. So yeah. Otherwise, this would have been a very difficult cycles puzzle. Whoa.
It's okay. H-Bomber guy convinced me that horses aren't real.
It's not that. It's only like one. I think you do 2 output sets at a time.
Yeah, you don't have a full pre-build, but you can't do it in a 8 cycle cadence.
No.
My Quint Stabilizer was almost full pre-build, and that one was ugh.
Ugh. Alright. Dropping down to 13th place, we now go into the double-digit area counts at min. So I'll just be focusing on the area count from this point on, because we're at
Double
min cycles.
digits. Okay, that's another big drop.
Alright, so down to 94 hexes. Mr. Puzzle.
Do I make top 10?
Let me just double check. I'm not going to tell you, but I just double checked.
Oh yeah,
Thank you for
that's
double
compact,
checking.
all right.
I can
We
zoom.
have
Oh,
pistons.
look at this! I can zoom in. This is the default zoom. So now I can use elephant mode if I want.
Why would you use elephant mode for a cycles puzzle?
Why? That's a great question.
Because it looks great.
Looks
I
funny.
feel like we should be doing the opposite.
It should glow. You want the glyphs to glow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this manages to get the good spacing between everything without too much clunkiness, but it has a big swing on the output. That's like the only thing that's costing
yeah.
the area.
It's quite unfortunate, this big swing. If there was like a way to slot it in like that somehow, that would have led to a pretty mean area count. Only thing, yeah, but that's the only thing, because otherwise, if you look at all the glyphs here, there are no gaps. There are like one gap here and one gap here. Those are the only gaps. It is very area optimized, and we're only at 13th place. Mr. Puzzle writes in the solution notes, this took me about 3 hours, so I assume all the "this puzzle is annoying" discussion on the Discord was about Sum 4.
Also, we should probably turn area calculations back on since this is an area metric.
We should, but I'm not gonna.
We can turn it on for next week.
Yeah, I'll turn
If you're a
it back
member.
on. I'll turn it back on next week.
Because we have GAC next week.
Yeah. Well, I'll do a run through of all the rate solves. Make sure there aren't any rate solves bricking my computer.
Oh yeah, I forgot I needed 300,000 instructions. Good luck.
Pain.
It's not that complicated if the right solve.
Alchemical slag RA moment.
Yeah, it's not slag.
Alright. Moving on. Dropping down a single hex is Ebenov at 12th.
We're no longer symmetric. Even numbers come out if you are.
It has to, yeah, if it's symmetric, you get an even area count. So you know this isn't going to be symmetric.
Oh boy.
Actually, I'll just keep it zoomed in.
It gives up symmetry for one area.
It still outputs both of the outputs on the same cycle. And just, like, it's interesting because you have extra latency with one of the outputs if you do use a single animus or a single quincliffe.
So yeah, one quint will actually still work if you use 2 animismus, but that makes for a much more annoying route to min cycle. So you'll be seeing, if it's symmetrical, you'll be seeing 2 quintessence glyphs. Not that you have to, but that's just the by far easiest route to symmetry at min cycles.
Yeah, my speed solve, I made myself do it symmetrically, and then when I was thinking about cycles, I'm like, this is only going to be fun if I do symmetry. So whatever places I sack by doing symmetry, I think it'll be worth it. It's week 0.
So I picked area as the secondary for cycles because I was thinking I wanted symmetry to be like an option, and if it's CG, and you have to use like 2 quintessence glyphs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's not
definitely.
even. That's clearly worse.
read-
Instructions, it's also going to be clearly worse, but in area, it's not so clearly worse because the symmetry might like allow for more efficient pipelining. So
Yeah.
that's why I went area secondary.
I read the A as aesthetics.
Yeah, and that, yeah.
It's not actually area, because if it was, I would be good at it.
Exactly.
Biggie, the area, and costuming. Let's go. I'm sure Biggie is enjoying the cost metric of week 1.
Literally, I am, though.
No
You
longer,
are? Yeah.
no longer breathed in says, I say if you can't solve week 1 in better than 900R or 80,000 G, you're terrible at this game. I say if you're not solving week 1 in better than 900R or 80,000 G, you're shit posting. And I look forward to your
And
solve.
you're probably good at the game.
And you're probably and I look forward to seeing your monstrosity.
Steven.
Hold on,
Alright.
I got a Graham's number machine that I could adapt for week 1.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Alright. Dropping down. I regret to
check
inform you,
that video.
Biggie. You did not make top 10.
Sheesh, it's next is me.
Oh.
We dropped down 9 hexes before we get to Biggie.
Wonderful.
At 84 area. But look how clumped that is.
Well then,
Ooh.
congrats
Wow.
to everyone.
It doesn't have
good
enough
one for the
pistons,
hex metric.
Biggie.
I know, but I couldn't turn any of them into pistons and save hexes. I got a more expensive 84 out of it, and that's all.
Down. Well, I guess you can just make them all pistons.
Oh well. That was surprising to hear, but definitely I enjoyed making this, and I like how it looks, so...
Yeah. I want to see how it gets so far.
But yeah, just a commentary on the symmetry. So this puzzle was inspired by, it was kind of like, it's in the same family as Invisible Ink and Quintessential Stabilizer. I wanted this to be...
And cool earrings.
This kind of... And cool earrings. I wanted this to be kind of the middle child between Invisible Ink and... slash cool earrings and Quintessential Stabilizer. And have like... Yeah, because Invisible Ink and Cool Earrings are on the easier end of that scale. And Quint Stabilizer is a very hard puzzle. So, I wanted one that's like, not quite that hard, but like, still meatier. But you can see all these, I think all of these symmetrical solves will be having Invisible Ink in the exact middle. Did I say Invisible Ink? I meant the Animismus glyph. I can words.
Same thing.
Yeah, so yeah, a la Invisible Ink, the Animismus glyph will be in the middle for these symmetrical solves, which, yeah, was kind of how I was hoping to design the puzzle. But, like, yeah, if this was a scoring week, I'd have expected a lot less symmetrical solves, and that would have just been sad. So, yeah, week 0. This seemed like a good fit for week 0.
I mean, it still was CA, so there's probably going to still be a bit.
Yeah, we'll see how low symmetry goes, actually. Because I don't think this is not the best symmetry solve. I don't think.
Got it. Yeah, Kali was positing that, but I'm just curious now. What did 10 people find?
So, starting at 10th
More
place,
symmetry.
we drop down.
Well, I mean, there's more symmetry, but...
We drop down another 5 hexes to Jamu.
Asymmetric?
Congratulations, top 10. Zorflax shall embrace pistons. It's CA. I'll give you a pass on pistons if it's like area, or CA, but I'm gonna be sad when we get to sum 4.
Oh yeah, this is very clean.
So clean, this is not symmetric. So the thing about non-symmetry, you only need one of the big glyphs. But because it's asymmetrical, you're gonna need to worry more about the hexes you're swinging over and your pipelines. And you can see a fair few equilibrium glyphs here as a result, in comparison to, say, Biggie's solve, which was bigger, but definitely had way less equilibrium glyphs. So, yeah.
Yeah, there were only 4 equilibriums, and I didn't have any extra bonders, but I had a ton of arms to get everything to work, because 2 Quint glyphs means a lot of arms, a lot of access points.
Yeah.
What about pistons and TG? I think the most interesting TG puzzles don't need pistons. So
Yeah, it's usually 2 arms.
but like there are
'Cause,
some that
no.
need. There are definitely like some TG puzzles that need pistons, but I just think the most interesting TG puzzles don't have pistons or don't need pistons.
I'm interested in seeing TG in a tournament. It seems interesting.
I reckon with the right puzzle, TG could be a really good matchup because we had that one philosophical.
Yeah, watch Norflex say this, and there's actually going to be a TG puzzle.
What was it called? It's
With
called
the
like
right puzzle, whatever that could be.
What was it called in the wake list? Philosophical Catalyst or something? The one where we turned off pivots and track.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah, I think
Rebek's
it
got
was
the gold solve
yeah,
and
Rose
Fiesta
Catalyst.
Laren. Yeah.
that was a banger TG puzzle if you ask me.
That was most people's first time thinking about TG and struggling a lot.
Yeah. It was really good because like it's a cost puzzle where the top 3 were all decided by primary, which never happens in
Oh.
cost.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Also, I'm curious on what people think the top 3 are for this puzzle. For this metric.
Okay, the solution notes simply read, I somehow squished this thing into 79 hexes. Well done on your top 10, by the way, Jamu. You've been, over the months, and you've been quietly kind of grinding away, getting better at the game. So I'm keen to see how you go in the tournament.
Yeah.
Nah,
love
Josh,
to see
Philosophical
improvements.
Catalyst wasn't a TG puzzle. It just, track was disabled. But it is technically, cost is the same as trackless cost. So yeah. Spec 98, complementing the asymmetry. I think it's a good shout. This solve makes the outputs in different ways. One uses the last input as salt, and the other makes salt earlier. Actually it does. Very nice. So, yeah, you can see the one on the left here does the thing where it bonds the salt to all 3 at once, and the other does the other thing where it does the earth at the end here, where it does the earth to 2 earth bonds. So yeah, those are your 2 different routes, and they're both in the same solve here. So, moving down to 9th place, we have a returning name. Welcome back to the tournament, Nova.
Oh, Nova!
Nova is
Boy,
back.
Nova's back.
Yeah.
A stacked year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, Nova uses She-Her bonus, okay.
Yeah, learning the same as well.
That's real quick.
She
Nova
was
writes.
impressive last year.
Nova writes in the solution notes. Haven't played since last year's tournament. I burned myself out quite fast. Oops. Excited to play the game again. Maybe I'll manage
Yeah,
to
let's
get a.
go.
Maybe I'll
So
manage
far, so good.
to get a first
Yo-Yo
place finish
Nova,
on the
like,
metric.
first place, win.
Nova and Zorflax might be kindred spirits in the sense of like probably better than everyone at the game, but does not feel like keeping it up.
I feel
Like-
like Spect is also in that category.
Maybe so, yeah.
Like I have that thing where I can like push myself like really, really hard and just like it's not even try hard, it's like ultra try hard mode. But yeah, that's not the most sustainable way to play the game.
Rolami is probably also in that category.
I'd actually also put Rolami in that category. That's a good shout.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Some of the best players at this game do not spend 7,000 hours on it. I'm just one of the people who plays until I don't get tired.
I don't know. See, I admire how like you and Pentapig don't burn out. Like for you two, it's like a lot more sustainable, which is why you two are the only tournament champions. Full stop.
Like, Calyresis is also a good contender.
Actually,
though.
Calyresis nearly took it though last year. So
Calyresis, Spiritual Shampoo, Fiesta, all very large contenders.
See, I think Spiritual Shampoo is more like say me or Rolami in the try hard category.
Except I don't think they get tired as easily. They just complain a lot.
Apparently, Spiritual Shampoo's already burnt out, and we're like day 2 of the scoring tournament.
Oh,
Alright.
no.
Yeah.
Moving on though. In 8th place, we have Faindeer at 75 area.
Fine, yeah, let's go. All right, it's Cycle's area. Finder is here.
Yeah, that is a finder category.
There's a Feindeer metric.
I
How
remember
does it
finder.
get smaller than this?
I mean, count the equilibrium hexes, or at least ones that would be able to.
We don't have area on.
Actually, would have been rather helpful to have area on, but oh well.
You can turn it on now. It's
I
probably
guess-
just a change in the settings.
I guess I should. Oh god, which one is it?
Collision patch, top.
Yeah, the first one. No, that's frame rate patch.
Frame rate patch.
It's
Yeah,
the
just-
debug one you undo.
Yeah, just disable deep. Not that one. The other one.
Oh, okay, all right.
No. The other option in collision patch.
Bis, you're watching with delay. He had figured it
Oh,
out.
The delay made that way more
no,
confusing.
I know the delayed Surfx is trying to fix whatever I was trying to mention.
Yeah, sorry, the delay made that way more confusing than it otherwise would have been. Okay, so
There you go.
I can turn area on now.
Yeah, you can press P. I assume you already did.
Yeah.
So much delay.
I'd have given the voice chat their own stream, but I just after last year's weeklies, I don't trust my internet enough.
Australia net, let's go. Are you at your friend's house or?
No, I decided to risk it. I'm at my own house. We haven't had a dropout in months, so like I'm like, okay, let's give it one more try.
Or if it
So
fails,
cool how
I'm
I'm
always
able to-
ready to stream.
All right, might have you on standby for the scoring weeks just in case.
It's so cool how the latency changes a little bit when you get one of the quints earlier. Like, only the left side of the solution has to obey the same principles I was following for the whole thing on my symmetry solve. So the right side is actually totally differently constrained, and it kind of is more compact for it.
Right, it's funny
Yeah.
how like the ability to change up like your pipelining and your like method in general for the purposes of asymmetry actually makes your CA more compact than if you were to like do the same thing on both ends.
Yeah, I sold for symmetry. Let's go.
You
I
know,
would be
symmetry.
really shocked if there's more symmetry down below this area count. Like,
I mean-
that probably means that I was the last, but show me if I'm wrong.
All right, in 7th place, we dropped down one more hex to Spiritual Shampoo.
Is
Well,
it
this is the
symmetric?
only
Is it
person I would
symmetrical?
expect to be symmetric, yeah.
Solution title sum 4.
It's also an even number.
Got it, yeah,
So-
yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah, it's
Spiritual
it's
Shampoo at
four.
one point said something about shaving 2 hexes from their area count, and that made me think it was a symmetrical solution, so I ate my words right away.
So,
This is so good.
I absolutely do not need
Yeah.
to press P for this solve because there are 2 unused hexes being swung over, and you can see them very clearly in the
They're
middle.
right there.
They are right there. So this, yeah, we're really pushing the boundaries of symmetry, I think, with this one. I am glad, yeah, Spiritual Shampoo and Biggie just thought, okay, let's just stick to symmetry, even if it's not necessarily the best, because, like, these still do pretty well. We're down to 7th, and we've still got symmetry happening.
This is like one of the more fine examples of track river. There's only 2 tracks in the solution, but there are 14 arms on tracks.
So to answer Rubik's question, this is a track river. It's just a mess of. It's the
I wonder if
messiest
it
track
has to
shape.
be a track river.
Jasper was
The
able to
entirety of
identify
it.
that 2 of them, like there's
Yeah,
one
it
junction
can
you
be
can
split.
add.
Is you can
Yeah.
put so this can be a triangle where my cursor is at the moment, and
Yeah.
I think the rest actually does need to be a river.
Yeah. It's still quite a river, though.
That's still a pretty big necessary. Yeah, that would have still been a river even with that junction.
What's the minimum length you need for a river? Probably like 5.
Yeah.
5 or 6,
would-
yeah.
5 as a...
I would say 4 can be a river if you have 3 arms on it that are all asynchronous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even if we added the optional junction, this would have been an 8 hex river. It's still a pretty good river. Alright, so Panic pointed out earlier in Twitch chat, no multi-bonders. No multi-bonders is good for area for like stuff like CA or production puzzles, which I think is why this beat out Biggie.
Yeah,
one of the
mine
main
had
reasons.
multi-bonders.
Yeah.
I also used a lot more arms because I was not making track rivers, which Finder's radio receivers was like the first place where I thought, I underused track rivers. I am losing CA because of it.
Right, and track rivers are good, like really good to CA because you need a lot of arms. But if those arms can like intermingle and use each other's hexes, then you're saving hexes pretty much. So yeah, another and a lot of things we say here, like no multi-bonders and like track rivers, you do have to design around these principles, but they're good principles to design around when you're trying to make these like big fancy CA solves. Alright. Moving on to 6. We dropped down 5 hexes. We are now down to 69 hexes. Coming in 6th place, Pray for Mercy.
Wow.
Which is a very good showing for I believe, a debutante.
Hell yeah. This is...
They've been talking in the chat a lot.
They were talking for a while about how they didn't think they had Min, and then they said one day, oh, finally I've got Min, and my area is probably bad. No.
Nah, it's a good area.
Let's look come back. I guess we hyped up the competition too much.
Oh, they're in chat as Corandor map.
Yeah. It was 90 area when they made it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, 90 area would have
be as competitive.
90 area would have missed top 10, but yeah, this is well within top 10.
I would have been top 10 if you did submit at 90. So new submitter who uses Critelli but does not use the solution title.
That I'm impressed with the placement of the air region. It is kind of smack in the middle here, but there's at least one swing here where the fire gets swung across, but there's a tiny bit of clipping input suppression that happens. Also, the quintessence kind of swings its way around past everything. That's some pretty cool swinging right there.
Oh wow!
Oh mate, just
the
kind
water
of
also like goes pretty far.
And like those are some big swings for a CA solve. Those are 2 length 3 swings, and you get away with both without adding too much to the area count. Very nice swings.
It's all swinging over like used hexes, except for that one.
There's one unused hex that swings over, but nah, that's fine.
Yeah. One thing I thought about when I was looking at Spiritual Shampoo's solve something recently reminded me, and I want to bring it up before it gets too much further. The only way that you can make single bonders work at all is if you build Animismus earlier in the solution than I did. And Spiritual Shampoo did build Animismus as the very first thing. So it's a thought that like you don't get to have Quint operating on an every 4 cadence as well. Or no, I guess for asymmetric you would still get to have that.
You still barely get to have it. It's just a bit tighter.
Which assignments allow you the latency to do it? Single bonders is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely probably something he would have...
make it...
Sorry, I imagine it was something Spiritual Shampoo designed around, like, from the beginning. I reckon.
Yeah.
Alright. Moving on to our top 5. We drop down 1 more hex to 68 with Spec 98.
Yo.
Still asymmetrical. Sorry. Even area count, got our hopes up, but no, this is asymmetrical. So, this solve is kind of defined almost by the lack of crazy swings. There's like one kind of crazy swing here on the fire region. Arm 7 swings down. That's kind of crazy. Other than that, I don't really see any fancy swings at all. So this is more so because like it doesn't look like there's a lot of bonders and 4 calcifiers, and you're like, okay, how is this so low? And it's just because nothing really needs to be swung, and it's just very good pipelining, I think I would say.
I think it was the winning RA solve for dark matter candidate. If that was the metric, I think it was.
Oh, well, yeah. RA was the metric.
Yeah, there was one solve that managed to make it look sort of like this, like nothing needs to swing. There's no need to go crazy, and it won because it had the lowest area. So that's a good idea to keep in mind.
Fiesta with a good shout in Twitch chat. Spec98 is incredibly good at just keeping things tidy and making sure, like, and just efficient movement, I think, is a bit of a thing you see a lot with Spec98.
Did Fiesta submit?
Yes, Fiesta did submit.
Oh.
So we've got Fiesta, Calioresis still to come.
Do you want me to tell you the other two, or?
We'll find
Actually,
them.
no, I won't. I won't tell you the other two.
Suspense.
I won't.
It's
Yeah,
the
I'm
top
gonna
four.
keep the suspense.
Suspense.
All right. Before we move on, real quick, the notes read: finished a solve, so might as well submit it. Not sure yet if I'm going to try for some. So I'm not sure if we.
Did he try for some?
I don't think he did actually. in the
Down.
end.
That's too bad.
Well, it's week 0. You pick your battles.
Moving on, we drop 2 more hexes. Next up is Fiesta.
Oh, there it is. There he is.
Space Invader.
Does it look like a Space Invader?
This looks a lot like Pray for
Yeah,
Mercy
it's got eyes.
solution.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like remarkably similar.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
I was doing like John in chat. Maybe John's top 3. That's somebody who I could see it and is seeming like interested. Oh wow, yeah, this is
They
really.
are saying no way. I think they are top 3 then. Amara is also here. Did she submit?
Who? Mara, I
Mara.
don't think Mara submitted for week 0. Unless
Ah.
Mara did some.
She could totally pull. Her specialty is not necessarily low period in a small area,
No.
and
alright. Mara did not submit
Well,
for
I
week 0.
mean,
yeah,
she won a Aether Reactor.
exactly.
But like compact and fast at the same time
Yeah.
is a bit of a thing that Mara is good at.
Yeah, this has a really good clump of pistons up at the top.
Very piston heavy, actually. We haven't been seeing that many pistons until now, I think. Alright. Moving on to our top 3. Where are we? Still at 66 area, we take a tertiary drop down to Caleuresis at 740 G. So it beat the previous solve by 35. Gilda.
John's freaking out.
Oh, it's so cool to see all of these like actually well optimized solves.
Who's the other person remaining then, other than John? Because Calorisis and Fiesta all popped up already. Grimmy, maybe.
Maybe
Grimmy
Jimmy's
said that
back.
week 0 was Grimmy said week 0 was a little intimidating, but week 1 was more their
Yeah.
speed.
Week 1 definitely looks like him.
Yeah, it was not Grimmy.
Because like most of the
Rolomni,
people I
but-
can think of aren't like week 0 people.
Rolomni, but with only 10 minutes to make it.
So, what's really interesting about this solve is that there's not just one regent near the middle, there are 3. There's only one that's like to the side, which is this water atom, which is kind of easily handled. Because
That
it's just
water
arm
is
14.
unfortunate with the amount of area it uses though.
It's just
Yeah,
arm
there's 4
14.
equilibriums right there.
Yeah, interesting. There's still, you can still see potential, right, for it to go lower, because you got these swings happening. But it's very convenient to have this water atom going burr like this. And the other 3
He needs
are
to
just
move out of the way for the output.
the other 3 regions are just carefully placed and worked around. You can see I think it's arm 6 grabs this quintessence and like just carefully slides it in between before doing its big swing. This Moore's Atom does a swing that would have clipped into the Regent if not for input suppression. I think the Vitae does... No, yeah, the Vitae is just carefully slided. Everything... This product is not rotated at all. This one is pivoted once at the very end. Just careful avoidance of rotations, and it kind of has a lot of the neatness that Spec 98's Solve has.
Mm-hmm.
But with things a little bit more centralized. And there's not that many arms, actually. There's only like 17 arms. Pretty good for a min-cycle Solve, you know. Alright. Moving down to second place. I'm sure he's expecting it, but we dropped down ever so slightly by...
It's a cost save.
It was another cost save. It was 30 Gilder. We dropped down by again. It is John John. Again, 66 area.
Does it drop even lower?
It's a pile up for now.
It is,
It's a
for
pile
now,
for
it is
now.
a 66 hex
Who's
pile.
first place? Don't spoil it.
Would be Nuchar in first place?
Oh, that's a thought. Zoroflax is silent. Okay, but let's look at Jean Jean's fall.
We'll see. Wait, let's talk about John John's fall. I like the triangle track on the bottom.
There are... Okay, so this one really has a lot of bonders, actually, but not as many, like... atoms, not as many hexes where an equilibrium would have gone as you would expect. There's only like 4 or 5, which is pretty good for an asymmetrical solve, I think, because the asymmetrical ones are the ones with the more like, you know, equilibrium hexes, I guess you can
the pathing has to accommodate 2 different ways of building it, so yeah.
Yeah, and this accommodates it very well. There are, and like you can see, like there are swings here, but like they're like this bottom one, it's only ever swung over like stuff that's already used. It swings over, it does an input suppression. There's a Cals here, it swings over a glyph, another glyph, swings over heck track, swing over a bunch of stuff that's already used. And same with this Fire Atom here. This Fire Atom Regent is another one. They go on a bit of a journey. This first one, yeah, gets swung over to Animismus. Second one goes all the way down. It is kind of been... I think this Fire Regent has been designed around a bit to get it to swing all the way to Quintessence, but then also to just casually slide across to get those final 2 bonds at min latency.
Yeah, I really appreciate how the arm that is grabbing Quintessence goes in both directions successfully. It doesn't have to do any weird pathing for one and have another arm for it.
Not at all, yeah. If this first one goes on a bit of a journey, but doesn't really look very painful because it's just arm 5 comes in, and also because arm 5 grabs both, which is quite nice, and swings over, and arm 6 just goes burr, and there's a pretty clutch swing here as it palms off to arm 6. Arm 6 grabs, and then it like swings across as the salt comes back down. And then the salt comes back up, which is pretty cool. But it comes back up for the triple bond.
Nice.
Some pretty clutch movement in there.
I also appreciate that arm 17 and 18 forced the whole thing to have twice the period because they switch places on their triangle track, even at period 8.
Yeah.
Coming in at first place, though, we dropped down 4 hexes.
Holy!
It is Sergi D.
I got it.
Oh, wow. Of course.
The overlap guy.
The overlap rate guy.
Are we sure they're not using overlap?
And it has 2 multi-bonders in it. Wow, it's just so clean. Wait, I think he was in chat earlier
pulls the
saying
product
that...
out of the ether.
I think he was in chat earlier saying that he had to leave before they would get very far into the stream, but I don't know if he expected first place.
Well, Sergi D's probably watching this on the VOD. whether it be on Twitch or YouTube, and just want to
Or
say
they'll find out in the
congratulations,
chat.
you've cleaned house in week 0. Pretty ominous for a debut, if you ask me. Yeah, but check out, both of the products are swung right here, and it's on the same cycle here, and they're all just like, oh, it is really nice how much like already used machinery is being swung. This the Vitae one swings over the entire Animismus glyph, not to mention most of the multi-bonder glyph, a calcifier. The other one swings over not quite the Regent, but like part of, I think it also swings over, yeah, it also swings over part of the Animismus glyph. So they both swing over the Animismus glyph on the same cycle without colliding, just to give you a sense of how tight the swing was. It also swings over the entire multi-bonder and a calcifier of its own.
I also really like how the Moore's delivering arm swings through so much of the space. This is built in a way where the distance from anime to that particular space is pretty high, but it's distance 3 and it doesn't collide, so it's perfect.
Which swing, sorry?
The Moore's from anime to Bonder.
Moore's from anime to Bonder is really cool, because there is also a water atom that does a length 3 swing, like twice, actually. First one's the Salt, which is like prepared in advance, arm 14, ready at the waiting. And then the second one, it's the exact same swing. So it's just reusing machinery, but yeah, it comes in perfectly. And yeah, the Earth and Quintessence is just quietly slided over to complete the min latency bonding. I'd also like to point out how the other one is really neat, because the other one has been it's carefully designed. As you can see, they're already in position. All 4 atoms just need, alright, I lied, but yeah, so 3 of the 4 atoms, there's 4 of the 5 atoms need to be slided over. The only swing, I kind of fucked that up, but the only swing here is this fire agent, which is swinging, which clips over an arm and a fucking input glyph and part of the quintessence unification glyph. So the other 4 are all slided over, and that's practically 0 area right there. Gets slided over the calcifier and the track X. Everything's just being very efficiently squeezed here. Banger layout.
Welcome, Sergi D, to a very impressive tournament debut.
Goddamn, this tournament is gonna be even more competitive than ever.
Been setting a lot
There's
of
no my
category
chance of ever
records, too.
winning.
Man, and just think, we still don't have submissions from Pentapig or Alarmni. I don't think we'll see one from Jinyu, but Jinyu's another top player.
Yeah.
I'm literally just relegated to content creator by this point. I will enjoy trying my hardest, but the people here are really good at this game.
And you don't have me either, because
winning.
you don't have me either, because obviously I'm not scoring for reasons that I hope are apparent. But yeah, hell, if I wasn't the one that designed this tourney, I'd be like keen to compete.
Well, probably because you design puzzles you like.
That you know what, that you might have a good point there, Best. Might have a point. I would have loved to compete in Blue Vitriol. I like it.
Blue
as a puzzle.
Vitriol is fun.
I like
it so far.
I think Blue Vitriol is one of my best puzzles. But yeah.
I haven't done right yet, but it's a good puzzle so far.
So, big props to Sergi D for clearing the first ever tournament puzzle he competed in. Hopefully that energy carries over to scoring puzzles. It always as someone who regularly wins week 0 puzzles, it kind of always hurts a little, because you're like,
don't burn out, Sergi.
Didn't want to. I didn't want to. It hurts clutching up for the puzzle that doesn't matter, but
yeah,
People do it for weeklies.
people do it for weeklies all the time. Yeah, good signs ahead. So let me just set up the AHK for some, and we'll get cracking on some. Alright, where are we starting?
I appreciated sum 4 instead of sum 3 for this one because it meant I didn't have to 6p all of my solutions.
I think there would have been a lot of 6ping if we went with if we went with sum 4.
Some 3, you mean?
Sorry, sum 3, yeah. I can words. Okay, so it'll be a bit weird because we're going to start at 30th, but at some point we'll be taking a bit of a jump. But anyway, starting at 30th, we have a new solution 1 from Cuckoo 52.
Yes.
Not the Monop solve, but it's Cuckoo 52, so it's going to be cursed.
Oh, it's breaking.
It's a pretty cool brick, actually.
That's really cool.
Just slap
He's
the
not
brick
here to
onto
witness the brick.
brick.
I love the Vitae Moore's hex arm. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It reminds me of a shit post I did, actually. It was the first ever shit post, and I called my solve wheel forest. And I think I do something vaguely similar to that wheel arm, but that was for a shit post. But it's a cool ass idea.
I'm back, and this is what I can see when I arrive.
Hey, Biggie.
Brick.
This is the winning sum 4.
Yeah, so
Duplicators in the winning sum 4. I'm amazed.
So in first place, Cuckoo 52.
Ah.
So this is what peak performance looks like.
I'm just asking if it's the first solve to use duplication, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think any of the cycle solves use duplication.
No, I don't think there was a single duplication in cycles. So yeah.
There probably will be much more for some, I imagine.
I would not expect duplication to play much of a factor in some either.
It's 20 cost for not much value.
Duplication is an expensive glyph. You need to justify using it. Alright.
Usually only appears if Burlow is required.
Alright, moving down to 29th, we have Jason making his return.
Jason.
Jason.
I love just the glottal stop in there.
If you ignore the fact that it's not, this is min width is the solution title.
Jason the width main.
Width main. Puts in the notes, not optimized for anything, just here to accept my participation trophy. So, not really gonna haggle you over a few unused hexes here or there.
Oh, but the biarm at the bottom does have a few.
Alright, I know the biome at the bottom
Quite a
is
few.
that's more than a few, I do have to admit.
Oof.
It's a monop tactic, guys. But if you were to optimize, one of my tips is be very careful about using big multi-arms. I think length 3s are out of the question. I think length 2s, you have to really justify them. Has to be something super useful that you can't do with pretty much any other arm.
No Longer Breathed In asks about the AHK script.
Oh,
Or not necessarily about it, but she was asking about how do you ensure that these submissions are counted in the right metrics?
How do you
And
ensure that
it's
your
like-
submissions are counted in the right metrics? We just kind of preset
We
the
don't.
metrics. We just kind of manually preset the metrics and get the solution data to count the scores
Yeah,
for those
they're
metrics.
just all in there, so we
Yeah.
just pick the best one. But
Oh,
if we
yeah,
only
oh,
have
yeah,
one
no, yeah.
submission,
Yeah, all the
if you
submissions.
only have one submission, we have to decide ourselves manually which one we want to show and which metric.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, that's the question. Yeah, no. The AHK does not do that. I do that by hand, basically. I'm going to be like, this looks like a cycle solve. Yeah, cycles. That's something I kind of prepare ahead of the stream. I have to go through and be like, okay, which ones are which metrics? Because
Yeah,
at
but
the
like,
top end,
in AHK, all the solutions are in the AHK.
Yeah.
It just automatically skips them.
at the pointy end, at like the top 10, 20, it's blindingly obvious which solve is which metric. But you know, it's really just like these first few. You have to be like,
Sometimes
okay.
it overlaps a bit.
Sometimes it, yeah. I started
like
with
period and cycles.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
just
is
noticed
correct.
that
No
not
longer
only
breathes
does the
in.
buy arm reset, or not only does it use a lot of area, it also resets. So it doesn't.
This is a low effort. This is a proper low effort solve.
Oh, Sergi J just found out he won week 0. Well done, Sergi D.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
congrats.
I saw that in the Opus chat.
Alright. So moving on, we are going to skip down to 25th because 28th through 26th are all cycle solves.
Yeah, I imagine this loses to a couple of cycle solves just because of the
So
area.
28th was Nathaniel, also had Panics, Test Solve. 27th was Small Crate. 26th was Spiritual Shampoo, but they're all cycle solves. So skipping down to... Oh, wait, we've had... Sorry, we'll go down to 24th because... Oh, have we had these ones? Alright, we've not had this one. So, sorry. Frau was 25th, but I think it was the solve I showed in cycles as well. So 24th I'll move down to. It's Nightshine. So Nightshine had 2 slightly different solves. So this one is like slightly
Just ever so
slower, but
slightly.
better sum 4. The solution notes read, I have touched game. I wonder what this Simulacrum is trying to emulate. Well, according to the lore, it depends on what it touches. So if you're like holding it, it just like becomes the color and
It becomes
texture.
a you.
It becomes the color and texture of your skin, which is kind of gross actually, but
Yeah, this is all too fun.
I think I paid too little attention to the lore and too much attention to the aesthetics.
oh, the week 0 lore wasn't very much. It was more like a teaser for all right, what is the story going to be?
Silly putty.
What is the story going to be?
About
It's like, oh, this is
Critelli.
we're gonna it's a Critelli ad basically. So it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna be talking about Critelli. Okay, Zorflex, we get it.
We get it. You're Critelli in person, in the flesh.
Very very clever Zorflex, we get it. Ha.
Didn't I suggest that like forever ago that you should make the tournament lore about Critelli?
You might have jokingly suggested it. I don't actually remember you saying that though. That might just be like great minds think
I'm
alike.
pretty sure I mentioned it in the weekly channel that like you should definitely like make your lore about Critelli.
Great minds think alike. Alright. Did I accidentally load that in? Yes, I did. 23rd place, River Soul. Whoops.
Okay, new person.
So yeah, another new person. Zoom in nicely for this one. The solution notes read symmetry exhausted, momentum attained, off in search of other simulacra.
Is that the plural for simulacrum?
I get that's a pretty good plural for simulacrum.
It needs one more extra track. I know it costs more, but it just needs one more extra track.
I'm a bit rusty on the I don't think etymology is the word. It might be though. But yeah, I think simulacra would be the plural.
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds right.
Data, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of etymology is just, yeah, that sounds right. No, wait, that doesn't sound right.
Because
And
that's
you
how
just
speech
find out
used
it's
to
from a
work.
different
You just do whatever
language.
sounds right.
Yeah, that's just kind of,
Yeah.
it's just kind of how language works, right?
Is simulacrum Latin? Is it supposed to be Latin?
It's supposed to be in that Opus Magnum style of names where it like sounds kind of Latin but is vaguely not really Latin. Like how Anatius
is
a real word.
Latin-esque, right?
yeah, Latin-esque, like Anatius, or you know, Servan or something. This is like a loading of AA guns solve. Actually, it is, yeah.
Arm 6 needs an extra track. I don't care if it doesn't use it.
But it would have an equilibrium across from it if it was symmetric. This is just breaking symmetry for no reason.
Is Critelia a real person that makes transmutation engines? Yes. Critelia is a real... well, according to the law, yes. Critelia is a real person. And can you get non-Critelia transmutation engines? That would be a spoiler.
Oh.
I mean, like...
We get to
apparently,
pick, and Zorflax
Al-
is in the act of picking.
Zorflax is gonna
apparently
mod in
Alcaro
a
makes the
Critelia
construction
head
trays.
for the competitor.
I'm gonna mod in a non-Critelia.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, the lore says don't make it contact Critelia transmutation engines, which implies the existence of other transmutation engines.
It does. That is a good observation. Alright. Moving on though. We drop down to 917 some with Trudging. Oh, I think we've already had that solved though.
This was the first one shown on stream for the cycles method.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. We'll skip that one then. Moving on to 21st place. No, wait. I've had that one as well. So it's Spec 98 and 21st. So I should have figured this one out beforehand. But in 20th place
It's fine.
is 7T Storm. So there was more interest in...
Okay.
So there was more interest in some than there was in Cycles.
Welcome back.
Sorry,
70
other way
Storm.
around. Cycles. There was more interest in Cycles. Back in words.
Yeah, because cycles is easy to calculate min.
Sum 4 tends to be like a scary metric, but in this case, I think it's actually easier than Sum
I
3.
mean, just some in general.
Yeah. It's funny how that scares away people because that's the part that I liked about it because it's like, oh, I don't have to aim for a number. I can just like use my vague intuition to figure out if it looks good or not. So that's how my brain works.
Numbers,
I feel like Opus people like aiming for numbers, most of them.
Yeah, definitely.
But most Opus Magnum players are like, oh god, I have to focus on the numbers. What am I aiming for here? So some is unique in that aspect. 420G though, nice.
Nice.
We will have
I
to
don't
rely
aim
on...
for a number. I aim for a number of up arrows, and for some it's 1.
The solution notes reads interesting, very interesting, and those are the notes.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
So far, we're only seeing very piston-heavy solves.
Alright,
That
so,
would be the first thing.
moving on though, we will jump straight down to 16th place. It is Biggie.
Are you serious?
Oh, Biggie actually made a sum solve?
Yeah, I made a sum solve. It has a piston in it.
That was
No,
your
you're
first mistake.
16.
Wait, no, that's not my sum submission. This is my showcase.
Oh wait,
This
showcase.
is- I definitely submitted a real sum that was not 847.
That's...
Why is this here then?
Oh wait, oh, he submitted it under a different name. Oh.
Oh, I submitted this first speed solve as Biggie Mac 42, and then everything afterwards I sent in as Biggie. That makes sense.
Oh,
Alright, I won't be making that mistake again on scoring weeks, but yeah.
you just
Don't do that.
if that ever happens, just like put them both in the same team.
Yeah, actually, I will do that. So yeah, sorry about that. That's not
This
your...
is the solve that I built in 15 minutes, trying to do a speed solve, but requiring that I be symmetric about it. Yeah, no, I've not. I was surprised it would have dropped that low that quick.
Sorry.
But yeah, Biggie Mac 42 and Biggie apparently are both in the list. So.
Okay, sorry, 15th place. We actually only dropped 1 point. It is Egg Sucker 888, and this is definitely a sum solve.
Everyone above, subtract 1 from your placement.
Yeah, I accidentally committed election fraud or something.
New submitter pog. Yeah, this Biggie Mac 42 has got a bright future. No, I assume
Actually,
Panic
Biggie is
Sucker.
the new submitter.
Egg Sucker actually is a new submitter though, yeah.
Biggie is the new submitter. Biggie Mac 42 is the old one.
Oh, one of the reasons for this is that I made the speed solve on my laptop, and that had the pre-filled name field from other times I'd submitted to the site. But I have a new desktop, and so all the other things I submitted, I was on that, and I put my name in as Biggie.
Speed solve
I still
moment.
just put an OMG it's a this even though nobody calls me by that.
Yeah, it won't happen again because I'm not going to be using my laptop for any solving. But that was embarrassing.
Check your names, people.
Okay, so as far as some tech goes, this looks a bit like more still in that cycle adjacent category. One rule that I have for some, I don't think it's on Goodbye Galaxy's rules list, but a rule that I personally use is don't use more than 8 arms. Because anything more than 8 arms is like, alright, there might be the rare example of a some record that uses more than 8 arms, but I haven't found it. Which is generally a good sign that, you know, yeah, arms in some are a lot more multi-use than, you know, your typical cycle solve, so that would be one thing I would say. Yeah.
You can generally look for like blank space in the tape, and like you can see arms 3 and arms 6
Oh, most of the arms.
do just essentially one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, if I scroll down, like, there's a lot of blank
Yeah.
space. So, yeah, that's
So that's usually a sign that you can combine the jobs of 2 arms into one.
yeah, I guess the trade-off is, like, because you're worried you might be making it a little slower, but you're making it a lot more cheaper than you are slowing it down. Alright. Moving on, we drop down to 777 with Genius 42.
I feel like that's intentional.
Could be. I had to... That was an odd gap, but...
I think it's probably because it has to do that at the beginning of a bunch of future tapes.
Yeah,
To
that's a
prevent
sum
collision.
4 thing. I had that in a few of my solves.
Oh, okay.
Just
It's
one starting way
makeshift
early.
furlough.
This is Nebulous Sum 4 Tech. No, yeah, I see it now. It is Nebulous Sum 4 Tech. Because I think Goodbye Galaxy, you know more about actual Sum 4 stuff than I do. Because I usually just like, nah, fuck Sum 4, I'll do Sum 3, but not for this puzzle.
It's just vibes, man.
Alright, so the notes read, not sure if it was worth making the same instructions to build both products. Sum 4 still seems about at least 150 points too high. We'll see if that's accurate. But yeah,
What's 777 minus 150?
had to use a few tricks and tracks. This version is improved from V2, an increase of 5 gold, but a decrease of 3 cycles, 7 area, and an instruction. Wonder if I'll get lucky. Because it's 777.
Jackpot. Oh, I like the, yeah.
So one thing I do know about Sum 4, as opposed to Sum 3, is that hex arms are more powerful on track in Sum 4 than they are in Sum 3. Because they can be a great way to save instructions.
Arms in general are just so much better in Sum 4.
Yeah.
In Sum 3, you have the, are they overrated or overpowered? But in Sum 4, they're definitely closer to the overpowered side.
Alright, next solve, I'm just double checking to see if it's not a cycle solve again. No, it's not. So next up is...
Too many cycle solves.
Too many cycle solves. Alright, so no, I think from here on out, we're in the clear. So, at 771, in 13th place, we have Cosmic Horror. He says in Twitch chat, I didn't really know how to approach Sum 4, so I just took my cycle solve and took out all the unnecessary arms. So it's a reworked cycle solve, pretty much. In fact, I think I do recognize this layout. It's the almost symmetrical one.
Yeah, a lot of them are just almost symmetrical
Well,
layouts.
yes. Sorry, one of the almost symmetrical one. But, like, with a lot less arms, just around. And yeah, because it's repurposed cycle solve, you can see it's kind of naturally leading towards cheap and expensive. Expensive yet fast. Alright. Having a quick mosey on down. We drop about 50 points to 12th place. We have Not Great.
Oh, we didn't see Not Great on cycles, did we?
Nope. I think Not Great joined...
I felt like Not Great was more of a cycles person.
he normally is, but I think he joined relatively late. Not Great writes in the notes, I wouldn't be surprised to see some fours of about half this, but oh well, a solution is a solution.
This feels more like a sum
Half.
3 number.
If there's half, that's good.
No, who knows, but yeah, some 4, a score half that
Yeah,
would
half-
be very
Half
impressive.
of this sounds like
This is
sum
starting
3.
to look like a proper sum 4 solve.
Sorry,
though.
this is, yeah, I think
Like,
we're
it's
into
nice.
the actual sum solves now. So
Yeah, this is definitely constructed with cycles and costs similar, and with instructions kind of just not remembered until you start to do the math.
Unfortunate those swings that the fire and air atom have to take over top.
True.
Yeah, none of the scoring sum solves below this have an instruction count quite as high.
I wonder if we have under 1p.
I felt it was really hard to get half P out of this, and any
Yeah,
other
it's
number is not
difficult,
reasonable at
but,
all.
I
I
think,
feel like people would try.
yeah, I think Genius 42 I think gave it a go, but half P I think would slow down the solutions a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's worth it, but you know, it's something people would
It-
consider
it
because
is-
it's part of the metric.
It is tech, right? It is something worth considering.
For the new players, when we say half P, we mean that the programming and the instruction tray gives you half of one output set. So in this case, you'd be building the same instructions would build one product, and then the second time around, the same instructions would build the second product. That
Yeah, I
would
feel like
save
for
you
this one-
instructions, but make everything else harder.
I feel like for this puzzle, if it were half p, it would be building one of the products at a time.
I mean, No Longer Breathed In's cycle solve was a rate solve at half P, and it was building them totally separate from each other.
Yeah, no, I meant more in like a sum optimized context. Half P slows the solution
Exactly.
down a lot. But yeah, no, yeah.
Exactly.
Obviously, if you don't care about sums, then yeah, you can still make it fast.
But some wants to reuse arms.
Because yeah, exactly. Some wants to reuse arms, and there aren't too many arms. This one's only got 5, which is already a pretty decent count for a sum solve. Alright, moving on. In 11th place, we have Jamu. Nearly top 10 both metrics, but couldn't quite pull it out in some.
I'm officially going to score better in cycle or in some than in cycles.
Just... We get it, Biggie. You're not too comfortable in the cycles metric. It's alright. Happens. We all have bad metrics. The solution notes for this puzzle, for this solve reads, Those are the notes.
Just
Just So this looks like a somewhat repurposed cycle solve as well, actually. It's still expensive and fast, but not like as expensive.
I wonder if Jamu's gonna keep that name, Eat Surrender Flares.
Trying to do symmetry in sum 4 It's very expensive.
Oh,
Like, you
yeah.
have to have twice the bonders, twice, the calcifiers, twice everything.
I'm
So I think,
excited to see Calioresis' solve that is titled
yeah,
Symmetry.
I was getting excited about that too.
But yeah, symmetry is a bad idea for some, I think, because as we were talking earlier, you probably, for symmetry, you need multiple quintessence glyphs, which for some that's a yikes.
You don't have to make it symmetric. You could
Symmetric-ish.
Ish.
yeah.
Yeah, ish.
Geometric. Remove some of it.
Squint metrical.
Squidmetrical. Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
I guess the main thing here is that there's a lot of track. Although I guess with this puzzle, there, like for some, there is naturally going to be a fair amount of track, but like that even then, that's a lot of track, I'd say.
I wonder if this would benefit from a piston.
How dare you?
I'm only saying that to rile up Goodbye Galaxy and Zorflax.
I'd say it does a better job of riling me up.
Makes sense.
Alright. Moving on. We hit our top 10, and the starting digit is now 6. So moving down to 697, we have Mr. Puzzle. Alright, so this looks more like a sum solve.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is a little slow.
Have to say it is somewhat slow. The solution notes reads, blech, anime and unification. Glad it's week 0. I don't have to squeeze much sum out of it.
I think this is a motif we'll see a lot, is hex arms at the top and bottom of the quint glyph.
Because, yeah, as I mentioned earlier when we were talking about cycles, the hex arms are going to interact quite well with these single atom inputs. So, yeah, and you can use them for both unification and calcification. And it just gives you room. Sorry.
It's interesting that it's used for calcification in particular in this, but that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even consider that.
And it's also just good for handing stuff, like giving stuff to other atoms to hand off, because you've got 6 hexes to work with, so you can play around with the geometry of, oh, do I hand off on this hex or that hex? Which one is more convenient? Which one gets me, like, is more easily swung onto a bonder or something? And yeah, I do also expect to see a bit of track like this because of all the bonding and because the animismus does not get handled by the hex arms, so that's something that the animismus is probably going to be well handled by arms on track, but maybe we'll see something else handled there. Maybe we'll see a piston. I mean, I personally hope not, but
you will. There's a piston loading anime in my solve.
Oh, there is. Double checking Biggie's placement real quick.
Zorflax, take your blood pressure medication now.
Alright, moving down to 9th place, we drop 1 point, and it's actually not 9th place, it's a test solve by Haxton. This one is symmetric.
Better than, do you have a test solve, Zorflax?
I actually don't have a test solve.
Damn. I guess it's tournament tradition that the person who designs the puzzles doesn't test their puzzles.
Alright, so my play testing mostly involved staring at layouts, because I'm like, because I'm not like submitting or try-harding. I'm just gonna stare at the...
I know.
I'm gonna make a layout.
I get it.
I'm gonna program it in my head. I'm not gonna actually go through programming it, but I did a lot of programming in my head, but I have like unused layouts.
I've been host before, I get that.
Yeah.
Zorflex is so good at this game, he can solve the puzzles in his head, and he gets a score. He knows exactly what it's. I do like this solution. It's just impressively expensive because it has to have so much expense to handle its symmetry.
Yes, I can afford to. I can get away with playing this game spiritually. But I'm glad to see symmetry in the top 10. It's going to be fleeting, trust me, but at least we got it. Not too many. There's 8.
Kali Reese's hasn't showed up.
Kelly Reese's has not shown up yet. Alright, moving on though. We actually do not take a drop at all because username Void also happened to get 696.
Right, there's no secondary. Is there a secondary?
There was no secondary.
Yeah.
So any tie, any primary ties are true ties.
I mean, Haxton is a scoring, so, you know. It doesn't even show up on the overlay.
I wonder if username Void was planning to then optimize it further, but then week 1 happened and like no longer interested.
Oh, it was.
Because it's called starter.
Oh, it was because I mentioned earlier, username Void didn't have as much time as he thought he would, so he like started it a couple weeks ago, but then got really busy over the last couple weeks. So I think that's why.
I wonder if they'll be here for week 1.
Hopefully they are. They haven't DM'd me yet about Blue Vitriol. I hope they do.
I think you DM'd me asking me my thoughts on it.
I DM'd a couple people because I was, you know,
Yeah.
I was excited to gauge the reaction for Blue Vitriol because I personally really like the puzzle. So I'm like, what do you think?
I was about to DM you and I saw the little 3 dots. And so I instead DM'd you just Zorflax is typing. And within a minute afterwards, you say, I gotta ask, what do you think of week 1?
Oh yeah, I got the exact same message. Also with the tongue sticking out face.
a classic staple. Alright, moving on. We dropped down 31 points to 665 with Ebenov.
Are we approaching the minus 150 that Genius Fortitude predicted yet?
That would have been 627. We're a little ways still.
Yeah.
We're not as far away as you think.
Yeah. I can see there being huge nosedives still to come, but...
So, this soul...
Yeah, this one has a lot of arms.
Fair... well, what is it? 6 arms? It's a pretty medium number of arms, but... I don't hate it, per se. One of them's a bi-arm on a track, which is pretty cool. I like the multi-bonder in the middle here, which I think is the hotspot being referred to. Or that, or the Crytelli hex. Bit unfortunate, this big swing at the bottom here. For area count, but I guess... It's sum 4, so... Area is 1, but one of 4.
Outputting is a bit of a pain in the butt with this puzzle. They're too big outputs.
They're pretty clunky.
A lot of times I did find it was better to, you know, slap down 10G of track just to translate it out, but sometimes you can't do that.
You know what really helps with delivering an output in
Don't say it.
space economical way?
I don't know, Biggie. I guess we will never know.
Yeah, it's not so knowable. It's a piston.
Where Biggie would play.
Yeah,
It's a piston. It's a piston. In 7th place, we do have Calyuresis. So I think, yeah, Symmetry got us...
Symmetry doesn't do that well.
There was a symmetrical cycle solve in 7th
Well,
place
I made
as
a
well.
single glyph symmetry.
There you go.
This is very pretty.
It is single glyph symmetry if you ignore the equilibrium.
It's still somewhat symmetrical. It's just, you know, the center of it, like that tiny center part, is rotationally symmetrical instead.
There's like a bit of mirror symmetry and a bit of rotational symmetry, which kind of looks cool actually.
Yeah. 3 calcifiers does not look efficient though.
No.
Well, it's really cheap.
It is actually only 4 arms. That is a low arm
Four
count.
arms is really
Yeah. I think
pays for it in cycles.
this will be the last sum solve under 200G.
Huh.
Yeah, because pistons are kind of expensive.
Biggie's really rubbing that in.
I found a button I can push. Come on.
You know, I actually can't remember if first place had a piston or not.
Of what?
Alright. Moving on though. We take a bit of a drop here. Another 30 points. Down to 625. In 6th place is Pray for Mercy. Another good showing.
Okay, we're under the 627 already.
Yep, we're under
Yeah, we
that.
got
Sorry.
Genius prediction.
So anything past here is gravy, according to Genius 42.
That's really expensive, but very fat and small.
It's expensive, but not like in the way that the cycles-ish ones were expensive. It's just it's actually like some-brained expensive. Like, there's still only 1 calcifier, right? And oh, actually, there's 3 calcifiers. I lied.
What are you saying? Yeah, it's interesting because like 250G 200 cycles or 350G 100, like there's ways to get the same total.
It does break my 8 arm rule, so
80G to get the animismus loaded though, which is kind of painful.
yeah, right, because it's all arm 1 and 2 do, right?
Yeah, 2
And-
arms, 4 track, and 2 calcifiers.
Yeah.
That has to be something you can do that like nebulous
With the piston.
M4 tech, where you just have a single arm doing that, but it has to start like 10 cycles ahead of the rest of the tape.
Yeah, yeah.
Just use the piston.
That's my solve.
Uh,
Alright, another multi-bonder, actually. I guess anything with like a caltrops in the output, or like that's most of the output, will like favor a multi-bonder. Not necessarily the best way to go about it still, because it can be a bit geometrically awkward working around a multi-bonder, but oh, and it's expensive because you kind of, you know, minimum 3 bonders. If you can do it with 2 bonders in whatever capacity, it's going to be cheaper and it's probably going to be smaller. So we'll see if that comes into effect, but multi-bond is still very good for this particular output shape. Alright, moving on to 5th place. We drop down. Now the starting digit is 5.
Cool, cool.
We're to the
Wow.
500s.
Here we go.
593 by John.
that's been farming really well.
John half P. It says
Is
63
this John
I.
John's first tournament, actually?
No, John has been in other. He got 2nd place on the Bitrans area.
Alright, yeah. I forgot if he was already here for, like, last year's or
I think he was
was
in
he
the
only here, like,
community,
this weekly.
because I remember his debut was Stab Gold, which was before Panic's tournament.
Ah, yeah.
I
remember
love
he
Arm
joined in
6 on the
weeklies, but I just
track
don't
with-
remember which.
So I like these.
Arm 6 is busy.
Arm
It
6.
has 2 different positions it might start the tape in, and that's how it manages half P. It loads the animismus from 2 different inputs, and it delivers
that's
different
cool.
pipes to the outputs to finish
wait,
off
this
whichever
is
one
half
is
P.
correct. Yeah, Arm 6 is the goat of
Wow.
the
That's really
solve.
cool.
I like how it conditionally. Oh, that's so good. The conditional here up top, because if it bonds Vitae, it's like it does this shimmy that outputs Vitae. But if it's bonding Mors, it shimmies before bonding.
Wow.
That is a sick conditional.
Half P got under 600 sum 4. I think this is a really innovative solve.
This is a sick sum 4 solve. Man.
I like the two hex arms sharing the inputs too.
So do I. That's actually...
And passing them off.
That's the other reason this is half P. That is even more clever half P tech. This is really clever. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how it manages to get the right elements into each of the two outputs as well, because loading animismus is not all of it. It also has to...
Right.
Yeah, ARM6 is disrupting which input gets taken. It has to unsuppress one of them, which means that whatever input was placed there gets placed back in, and that changes what comes out. God, that's so cool.
And the way that functions kind of with the hex arms, it's... Damn, this is a really cool solve.
Well, John with an amazing week 0 showing.
Second place and fifth place.
Alright. Moving on to fourth place. You'd not get top 3 Biggie.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I think Big is fine with getting Piston in fourth place.
Thank God we kept the Pistons out of top 3.
I don't think that's true.
Alright, well, we do have, other than the piston, this is a pretty good solve, if you ask me.
All right, let's take a look at this piston. Like, let's really scrutinize it.
Did it really need to...
It's specifically
it's very busy.
It's feeding the air into the hex arm that is like when other people were talking about how the hex arm could talk to the unification and a calcifier, I was thinking calcifier. Mine talked to unification and a bonder. But that meant that it had to have the right elements in it. So there's a lot of crosstalk. Once to put earth into that hex arm and once to put air into that hex arm. And the one that requires air, it was going to slow the tape down by like 4 cycles per loop if I didn't get to have it be the specific motion which required a piston. So then I put the piston in. It saved a lot of other cost elsewhere and made things faster and lower area. So it was just, it paid for itself and then some.
I like the pivot that the ARM1 multi-arm does, because it'll specifically grab before ARM2 offloads the quintessence, gets ready,
Yes.
and because the other atoms are all single atom inputs, it doesn't matter if they're pivoted, so it gets away with this nice pivot, which makes that bonder work. Because now the other bonder only has one bonding job to do.
Yeah, I was proud of how this came together. I still thought it was not my like super high effort because it was just week 0, but I was really happy that it came out to this good of a solve and that I could keep the piston.
I mean, you didn't have to keep the piston.
It wouldn't have been a better sum solve without it though. Show me the better sum solve without it. Help me out.
All right. Tied for second place.
Ooh.
Dropping down by 11 points, we have Goodbye Galaxy.
I'm surprised it has ties. Does that mean does that mean Goodbye Galaxy is the alphabetically challenged one in this comparison?
No.
Oh wait, no, it's submission time.
No, the other person is more alphabetically challenged.
Oh, so Fiesta won it. You just revealed that to me.
Yeah, no, I did. If you brained that one out, yeah. Oh, I actually shouldn't have said it because then Fiesta might not have submitted for some. Oh well.
Fiesta would submit for some. There's no way Fiesta does not.
Fiesta's a bit of a some main.
Did Kajian submit? Because that's the other person who I'd expect to see doing well. ...
All right. So I know this isn't hard-hitting analysis, but I like that the track makes the number 10.
Yes.
I feel like track loops with two arms going crazy is kind of style.
Yeah, of course.
I rate that as well. That's also something I like to do in some solves like this, involving a lot of translational movement, which is...
Yeah, I found this sort of method of using the hex arms to not only load quintessence, but also create that little elbow shape for the rest. And I was like, oh, this is too good. And so basically all my solves focused on that.
Yeah, the inputs and unification and bonder, but you have it for both X arms. I only had it for one, and that actually means you don't have to do crosstalk stuff, so it becomes faster for it. This is like 20 cycles faster than mine.
It means it's easier for that other final bonder on the right to do more work.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some beginning like initialization wonkiness where the first animismus loading arm takes the long way around because it has to move around the phantom arm 5, which in future run-throughs would be in its way.
That's cool. The long way around being minus is because the quick and easy way is always plus.
Watch
Sorry, I'm finding that much too much fun, and I shouldn't.
Nah, it's actually funny, but
it's all good.
I don't want to admit it. All right. The other second place solve, also 563. This one's cheaper and slower. Sergi D.
Oh, got it. Sergi is still on a tear.
Oh.
You do everything.
Okay, Sergi D is gonna.
The layout is symmetrical.
Someone to watch out for.
This is so pretty. What?
Same idea.
Same idea, but the two arms on a diamond track are like nestled right into the middle, so they have access to pretty much
really getting use out of those bonders.
Those two arms in the middle, they're useful in all 6 directions.
Yeah.
This looks like it was a pain to program.
Yeah, well, Goodbye Galaxies, I was comparing to mine as like, oh, this is just, it's just faster. That's all it is. This one is more area, but so much cheaper.
Yeah, that final swing is a little rough.
Sergi D is a scary competitor.
Nearly clean swept week 0. Yeah, what can I say? That ORG stuff must be really informative.
I mean, the way that he approached ORG, he was very clearly seeing things that other people miss. So, just a brilliant player. This is the first time that shows in a competitive aspect, and that's scary.
All right, let's get to it. Actually, the solution notes reads, before I move on, managed to do 2 sum 4 solves with a matching score. Adding arms did not help. So there you go. A bit of insight.
So there was the third 563.
So there is another 563. Actually, it's right there. Actually, let's load it in. I gotta... Here you guys. This is Sergi D's other... So it was just a third arm on the diamond track, but that came out to the exact same score.
Oh, wow, yeah. This becomes the same cycle count as Goodbye Galaxies instead of being the same cycle count as mine. But it adds instructions and 20G.
Hmm. And it does barely make up for it with the lower instruction count compared to Goodbye Galaxies, which is why it would have tied.
Huh.
Or it did tie, sorry.
This is an even more Goodbye Galaxy solve than mine. It's got 3 arms on a track and they're different lengths.
Oh, yeah. Arm 5's link 3, yeah. Okay, first place. Oh, God. You know, I'm not actually I'm so nervous there's a piston because it's 250G. It's more expensive than biggies. 250G, 140 cycles, 68 area, 88 instructions, 546 is the winning score. Congratulations,
Huge.
Fiesta. Oh, moment of
Huge
truth.
dub.
Nice job.
Moment of truth. Oh, thank God. No piston. Piston out of top
Wow,
3.
546. That's a big drop.
It is a drop though.
It's the
Why is
speed.
this more expensive?
It's so fast. How does it do this?
5 arms, 2 of them hex arms, and a fair amount of track to boot.
So this is
I
actually a lot like my solve, except just different placement of the track loop and the single arm.
So it's like a little more expensive than the last few souls, but it is very noticeably quicker. It is like, it's almost 40 cycles quicker than Goodbye Galaxies. Almost 60 cycles quicker than Surgy D's.
This is a good looking solve. I love how Arm 4 rebonds the last atom on, which is only there because of input suppression. Like that's a sketchy build order that worked out perfectly.
Check out the Moore's input suppression.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just kind of like it's like reserving its spot. Like that's my spot. Don't butt in.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Fiesta last year showed that he'd become one of the best at the game, but yeah, some in particular, he's got the knack for it.
Fiesta continues to underrate himself, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep getting away with that for much longer if he keeps performing like this. But like honestly, like didn't Fiesta not get like 3rd or 4th place last year?
Yeah, fourth.
It was
I was
fourth.
Yeah, it was 4th. Yeah, like like goddamn. Again, this year it's looking pretty stacked at the top end. I actually have no idea who I think's gonna win. Obviously, Pentapig is the incumbent favorite, but like he barely scraped it out last year against Caliorasis, and there are just so many good players now that are gonna take top spots off everyone.
I'm excited for a new champion.
I'm thinking maybe it's time. Maybe it's finally time for a new champion.
As a community, we have to take down Pentapig.
the quest to beat Pentapig.
That is- that-
video.
That's gonna be, I think, possibly the biggest question about this tournament. Is this the year Pentapig gets taken down, or does Pentapig 3-peat?
Pentapig vs the world.
Alright. That's enough for some.
Will Germany hold the title?
Will Germany continue to hold the title? Actually,
Who knows,
don't.
maybe Romney will win.
I was going to say, there are other German competitors.
I actually don't know some of the nationalities of some of the new like best players. Like I couldn't tell you where Caliorasis is from, for example.
Probably mostly American.
I'm guessing most of them are American.
Yeah.
They're coming from
is
Reddit.
probably in chat right now.
All right. I gotta do the manual downloading thing for Showcase, so I'll be a minute.
Jason takes for Germany.
Jason.
You just have like 8 width puzzles.
Yeah, Calirus is American.
Oh, okay.
Cali's a West Coast, Best Coast. I agree. I agree with the words that I just put in your mouth.
I see in Australia, there's like everything happens on. It's like even more than America. Everything happens on the East Coast.
Yeah,
It's just like
it's
Yeah,
just
that's
Perth
awesome.
over on the west.
there's Perth and then like desert.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised we even have
For
a
us in
Perth.
Taiwan, everything's on the west coast. Because east coast is just mountains.
Alright, that should work.
Oh damn, we're both Cali girls, Biggie. Oh no.
Former Cali girl. I don't think I ever called myself girl and lived in Cali.
Cali girl.
Well, you can still apply it to past you.
Yeah, I can. But I felt like it was funnier to say what I said.
I don't think I have either, but you know, I like saying Cali girl because it's funny.
Did we lose Zorflex?
No.
Oh no.
Oh no, he's just loading and stuff, I imagine.
I just realized I forgot to swap the puzzle for the AHK, so I'll be a minute.
Oh. Oh boy.
Actually, no, alright. Alright, I'm ready. We have 18 showcases. Damn.
Can I do a Valley Girl accent? I can try.
Oh my god, Biff.
Like, oh my god.
Don't they talk really slowly? Or something?
I remember watching Virtual and Anna Cramling together, and someone asked them to do Valley Girl accent, and they both could do a Valley Girl accent surprisingly well for being Scandinavian.
I don't think I've been in the... I don't think I've actually
Just
been
gotta
to
listen to the
California
Frank
for that
Zappa
long.
song "Valley Girl," and then you'll be doing it.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, bestie.
Yes.
I have a few friends that love doing the Valley Girl accent. I don't think I've really nailed it ever though.
I don't
It's
think
just like,
I ever will.
nah, you've got that Australian accent.
Australian accents are it's like a specialized accent. It's like no one ever really nails the Australian accent, but then people with Australian accents aren't good at other accents.
See, in Australian though, you can pronounce no like nar, and I don't get that.
Nah.
Nar.
Wait, you mean when I say nah? Is that what you're referring to?
No, like they say the
Somebody watched a Jeffrey Lindsay video.
yes, Jeffrey
That's
Lindsay.
a
That's
great
the one.
video.
Go watch Jeffrey Lindsay. I'll just enjoy that.
Nar.
It's like the resonance of the O becomes R.
I don't. I'm sure once it clicks, I'll be able to do it, but it hasn't clicked for me what you're referring to.
The video that Mist mentioned, the Jeffrey Lindsay video, there's actually clips from some Australian younger woman talking, and they clip out specific phonemes from it without the context, and you can hear them as the complete other word, and you can even build a wrong word out of what you hear if it's clipped.
I gotta check that out after this stream.
Just know that Jeffrey is spelled with a G-E.
I'm sure this time next week I'll come back and I'll be able to do it. Alright, so first up, we actually do have the Alonso solve that came in at the very last minute. It actually came in after the deadline, but it's a showcase, so it's alright.
Let's go.
It's week 0. So I think this is just Alonso's solve of the puzzle. I believe Alonso was someone who came in from Reddit over the last week, because Reddit had this Reddit had this weird algorithm boost, and it's been cool because the Reddit's been buzzing, but yeah, a little weird. So actually, this is interesting. It puts everything over the output.
It just puts everything in place.
And then it's like,
I didn't have to move the solid off the way.
oh wait, bonds exist.
That's funny.
That's actually cool.
Allocation.
It's like
This is
mise
like
en
a-
place.
This is like FMM set. I like how it even goes out of the way to exchange the salt for another atom before is allowing itself to bond things.
He says that's because I forgot you had to bond.
That's awesome.
Is this your first Quintessence experience, by the way, Alonso?
Oh, because Quintessence isn't in the main campaign, so you
Yeah.
might not have actually come across that glyph before.
It's not that difficult to figure out. I mean, it's pretty intuitive, but yeah. Oh, they haven't finished the campaign.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Quintessence does not feature in the campaign. It is a journal glyph. It is introduced. I hope you're having fun with the game, though, Alonso. It's a hell of a game. If you've been around for the whole stream, then yeah, the skill ceiling for this game is insane. So yeah, there is enough here for your brain to munch on for thousands of hours if you want. But
I remember there's a comment on the Reddit post saying the new player's about to find out how high this skill ceiling goes.
Oh yeah,
in this game.
See, one of my biggest piece of advice for people who are like coming in for the first time is just like get ready to be schooled, because yeah,
or just have fun.
yeah, and just don't worry about placement. Just have fun, really.
Yeah. If you like, the weeklies are a good place to also a good place to learn like how to optimize.
But
the
like
tournament itself as well.
Yeah, actually, the weeklies are also very good because we do placements and it feels somewhat competitive, but it's like it doesn't actually matter where you place. If you do bad one week, it's like, all right. If you don't feel like doing a week, you don't have to either. The solution notes read, got OM this week, only started after the 90-minute warning. That's the one that I put in the Discord. So this was done like very last minute. So I'm actually impressed you got this out in time.
The Rolomni method. Scream, the solution appears. It's very good.
All right, moving on. We have a CX submission from Sergi D.
Oh wow!
Was the spiritual shampoo saying they want CX? It looks almost the same.
So it just adds more area to save a bunch of gold.
Yeah.
66 area. That's what everyone.
The pile up.
I like how
it would have won. This would have won as well. This literally would have won CA because it has a lower cost than all of the 66s that were second and third.
Oh, that's good. Sergi D writes in the notes, cheaper CA to give spiritual shampoo some competition.
Oh, so it was in
this out
burritos spiritual shampoo's comment.
This out burrito spiritual shampoo solution entirely. So
Astro GD is saying because week 0 was 3 weeks long.
Right, yeah. I think that's partly why I got a lot of showcases anyway, because it's like there was just a lot of downtime.
I feel like a lot of people probably I think a lot of people put in as much effort as a 1 week would.
Oh yeah, I started to just work on my video.
Cycle's got a lot of good attention. Some unfortunately didn't get as much attention, but
yeah,
that's all right. I think some was the one that I think some in particular I think scared people away, oddly enough, which is funny because it's usually like cycles.
Because two like scary glyphs.
It's usually like
I don't think many people did some for Leap No Trace either.
Yeah, actually it's true because I never did some for Leave No Trace. I just did area and then TI because I still maintain.
Yeah, you did TI.
I still maintain TI was a better metric for that puzzle than some.
Disagree, but that's just because I won it.
Yeah, I won TI, so.
Yeah, for a one-man race.
No, it was a 4 or 5 man race. There was some pretty decent.
Was it?
Yeah, there actually were some. Like, I think the guy who came second was Spec 98, who did pretty. It was a pretty high effort TI solve, and yeah,
somehow TI had competition on that puzzle. I don't know why.
It was the puzzle that birthed the idea of a secret third metric, because there were like a surprisingly high number of TI solves. All right, moving on though,
we probably one of the first week zeros that actually had a metric as well.
Might have been. All right. Moving
I
on.
forgot if Welcome to House Coven had metrics or not.
Moving on. We have a CGA solve by Calioresis. Can't remember what the cheapest min cycle solve was, but this comes in at 575. I have to look back over the VOD. Kelly Racist writes, this is just a costified version of my CAG. Could probably get cheaper with a full redesign. There you go. Alright, next one is another Sergi D submission. This one is an OR solve, although it writes naive.
Yo, let's go.
So it might not actually be min rate for OR. Ah, yes, the initialization part of OR.
I would imagine that this ends up becoming a 2R. Or no, it would be 4R because there's 2 outputs, but still.
All right.
Like, it's just half. No, it's 3. It's on a 3 cycle cadence.
So I'll read the
Theory
solution.
min is 2.5.
So it is double consuming, it's just not optimally double consuming. Wow.
Odd. So I'll read the solution notes. As naive as an OR solve that double consumes every input once per output can get, true min OR requires overlapping both outputs and double consuming 3 inputs twice, but I couldn't find a geometry that worked. That yields a rate of 2.5 with a 5-period solution. It would be outputting 2 of each product while double consuming 3 inputs. That sounds like
That's crazy.
that sounds like a giant pain in the ass.
When you write naive, I expect you to be using 1 input per cycle. But yeah, you're double consuming, you're making a very clean 3R. You are so good at this.
Naive, but like it's in scare quotes.
I can believe
This
that
more-
it isn't optimal, but
this
it is
feels
so
less
cool.
like naive and more like practical min.
I'm amazed.
So yeah. So this is the 3R, but 2.5 would be the theory min. But that extra half a rate is
It would be done by, double consuming 3 atoms each time you place an output, which means the embedding can't be symmetric and everything is harder.
It's like alchemical Joule 76 versus 75, kind of. Alright. Moving on, we have another Sergi D. This one writes min C question mark. Check out the cycle count on that one before you judge the title.
We overlap now?
We overlap.
Gosh, and with double consumes, this is lower than half of... Yeah, this is the subsystem, and this is the same as in the OR solve, so it's that much faster for the double consumes. God, Sergi D's overlap skills are way beyond Greemy and me back in 2018, 2019 when we were starting with it. Like,
Oh, I remember when you were first exploring OR and the stuff that you needed to do to get OR on some puzzles, and like none of that's necessary anymore because of guys like
it never
Yeah.
was necessary, but
Health
Sergi D was the one who actually helped realize it.
yeah, right, yeah, like
the OR health tonic.
I thought
Is,
that was a cool
Is
solve.
invisible ink still? Is invisible ink still fucked?
I think there's no way for it not to be because it forces waste in this sort of double consume process, but Sergi D could probably have the secondaries. It reminds me, like, I'm often a pioneer, and then other people who come around and build on that and learn it for themselves and make fewer dumb assumptions than I made make me feel like, wow, I shouldn't have been the pioneer. Other people are way better. But I'll still be happy that I was the pioneer.
So DD says 22 and 21 is probably possible.
all Zorflex needs to do to increase viewership is to host this from a hot tub. And we're like revealing clothing.
Zorflex hot tub stream.
Turn it into a thirst bait stream. The solution notes reads simply, completely legit Min C. I believe you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, totally legit.
I do not see the problem with this. Alright. Next up is Spiritual Shampoo, who has titled this new solution 1. All of his showcases are new solution 1, so I'm just gonna have to open them up before I figure out what he's actually optimizing for. This looks like OA.
Quote unquote. I don't. Well, I guess he did that on purpose then.
This is either
If it
no, this would
was
be OG. I'm guessing. Maybe
OG or OLG?
OG.
Is it?
Oh yeah, has to have animismus and calcifier.
Is it OG or OA?
It could be both. Maybe
Because I don't see how a piston would even help much here.
make it faster, maybe, but
It's O small.
Oh, small. Yes.
all right.
The OR for Invisible Ink is still the one on Biggie blog. No one's went to optimize it yet.
Okay, so
Yay.
this is the second new solution 1 by Spiritual Shampoo. It's the maybe this is OG.
Yeah, this one is 40G less.
Oh, okay.
And a lot higher area.
Yeah,
so.
it doesn't have.
Wait,
It
what was
doesn't
the
have that much track. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so the other one was OA. This was OG, probably. So you didn't need a
This
piston.
one only has 2 track, I think.
Yeah, you only
Oh.
need to track for all the access.
Of course, yeah. Okay, all right, yeah. Funny how the other one, the OA solve, didn't need a piston.
It's got enough track to move around. It
Also,
was an OH solve.
also just reminder: Spiritual Shampoo's pronouns are copy, 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 copy.
Oh god, that's a challenge. How will we ever refer to copy?
Right, I just noticed that.
All right, our third new solution 1 by copy. Height.
This one's symmetrical.
Pretty cool height solve, actually.
Yeah,
Trackless,
height solve.
trackless height.
TH.
THC. I'm thinking. Looks kind of cycles brained. This one's actually very pretty to look at. Nightcap, to answer your question, I'm looking at my list of showcase solves. I see one called right-handed, but not one called left-handed. Alright.
Someone's been sniffing Steven's glue.
Alright, this is the fourth new solution 1 by copy. Width solve.
Width, let's go.
And I gotta zoom out because it's width.
Wait a minute, this isn't ASIN.
Yeah, this would be... Alright, so this is trackless width again. TWC. Let me zoom in just a bit so you can, like, get a sense for what's happening. But, yeah, kind of similar brainworm to the height. This will look good on the Pareto Frontier once this solve eventually hits the leaderboards. With this puzzle, I should say. Don't even have any normal arms. These are just pistons. So there you go. Alright. We have one more new solution 1 by copy. That one has a cursed metric count.
We're just referring to copy as copy now.
We are.
Ah, it's an ice off.
Let's just get my
Goodness.
clicking finger ready.
You have elephant mode right there.
I have elephant mode. What am I doing? Hold up.
You didn't zoom in for it though, but
Yeah.
you probably don't have to go elephant mode.
Ah, yes. This is informative. Alright. Elephant mode's a little too fast. Is that still too fast, or...?
No,
No,
that's
this
fine.
looks beautiful. It makes them as a pair, and then it... Oh, he said at one point that it's like half of a universal compound. That's because he's basically using universal compound, but restructuring the final build order and outputting it as two things.
Alright.
But universal compound had to use Burlow and a single salt input, so its iSolve is very different.
How the hell... Man, my not instructions brain goes, how the hell do you do all of universal compound with just one salt input? That just sounds ill.
Yeah, you need to do multiple passes. You have to brick it first and then use the brick as your input.
Oh, actually, alright, I think I can see how that would work, but... Alright, yeah, that sounds insanely hard. Could you imagine if I... Oh, man, could you imagine if I did an instructions puzzle as like a scoring tournament puzzle?
I know you won't, and that's
boy.
probably for the best.
Yeah.
We didn't even do it for the weeklies.
Wait, oh, I can't even justify it for the weeklies. He sent us an instructions puzzle submission for the weeklies, and it's just too... Oh my... It's just hard. Yeah, I don't know. I can maybe see it happening one day in the weeklies. It's just... You gotta really design like a puzzle that's not annoying and hard, but like interesting also, and with many different avenues of optimizing.
It's
And
probably just gonna be secondary well, I mean, of course, it's gonna be secondary optimizations.
But yeah, it's hard to
But yeah,
design an instruction.
I definitely feel like the focus shouldn't be on dubious primary.
No, it's just I think it'll be hard to design a puzzle that like an instructions puzzle that we look at and go, oh yeah, we can use this. This will be fun for the weeklies. But I won't say it's never gonna happen. I think it might happen one day. Maybe it'll happen this year. Maybe we'll get a really good idea for it this year. But yeah. The one he sent us was way too fucking hard. Turn back to normal. Alright. So, we have Night Shine's 3 Trek Mind right-handed. I did not get one called left-handed, but hopefully this one is the one that Night Shine was referring to. Do it in production. Oh yeah, production's different, yeah. Obviously, instructions in production is great. Left-handed was the submitted scored solve. Oh yeah, we've done all the scoring solves already. We probably looked at it way back at the beginning of this stream, which has been going on for 3.5 hours. I'll have to speed my rate up a bit. For Blue Vitriol, because I'm expecting...
Oh yeah, for like the actual stream where there's gonna be, for the actual scoring week where there's gonna be about like 50 submitters.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to be like, a minute goes past, I'm like, alright, move on, kind of thing, so I feel a little bad doing that, but I'm gonna have to. This is the exact same...
focus more on the mini primary solves.
Oh, so this is the same as the scoring solve, except I think the quint goes in the other direction when it leaves the unification glyph. Alright. Still very pretty. But yeah, nicely done. Wait, there are... Oh yeah, it says so in the notes. Let's hit the play button. The literal equivalent of my left-handed solve with one mere alteration. Stats-wise, identical twins. So there you go. Alright, next up we have Ebenov with a solve called Half Ready for Now. Whoa. I was worried my game crashed. Alright, this looks like a sum solve that was not quite never quite made it out of the draft stage.
It's a half P sum solve.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Oh, it's another half P. I
I think it's not submitted because it's worse, but it is an example.
I do like that we had a couple of stabs at half P, because John's solve was really interesting.
John's Arm 6 was insanely good.
That, low-key, I think John's was actually my favorite submission. That was a really cool solve. I should have, like, some solve, but, like, weighted towards instructions. So, like, you got, so, like, yeah. It's like that half piece stuff was encouraged. That would have made for a very interesting puzzle. Metric.
But not so hard that Spiritual Shampoo's instruction solve would win it instead.
Absolutely not. No, that would be like, all right, how do we make sure that doesn't happen? As like that's the playtest. All right, this next one is submitted by Series, and it is Omni Height.
Production putty.
Oh, all right, so it's designed to fit in a production puzzle. Actually, is the idea, but also Omni Height.
Let's stick on.
Alright, so I'll read the notes here. They're pretty in-depth. Some of my non-alchemist friends expressed an interest in producing their own putty after first losing the putty they bought, then the replacement container I provided. Whether this is a good idea remains to be seen, but it struck me with a question I could not ignore. After significant effort, I have compacted the putty assembly machinery into a solution which is affordable and compact enough to fit in a single large production cabinet chamber. Whether I will actually provide the schematic to my friends, however, is another question. The only issue I foresee with this design is the struggle of determining whether the output flask is full or not, as once the putty contacts glass, it tends to become quite transparent. This is one reason I did not use additional arms to speed up the design, as it would be quite unpleasant to have an output leak and have a large quantity of putty to clean up.
Looking forward to more lore from
Lore.
series.
So not counting overlap solves, I'm pretty sure this currently holds the record for area. Because I think we didn't get an area showcase. I think this is the lowest area non-overlap submission we got.
I
So
wonder how area would look for this puzzle.
probably similar to this, actually. There's only like 6 equilibriums. In fact, if you take out the
Yeah, but it's got a lot of track. You could use a lot less track than that.
Probably. Yeah, you probably only need like 2 or 3 hexes of track. Take out the equilibrium. Yeah, it only uses 3 of them. So, actually, yeah, take out the equilibrium. This is an area solve of 34. You can probably only save, like, maybe it goes down to, like, 29 or 8. That'd be about it.
I feel like this is going to be a bit like Leave No Trace
Area. Actually, yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
And Leave No Trace, except it doesn't have the burrow. The burrow was a big thing for Leave No Trace.
28, yeah, it's 28 if you just place down minimum parts, and there's no way that minimum parts isn't going to give you enough space to then make the products.
Right, yeah, that was an assumption, which is why I'm like maybe 29, but it probably will be 28, you're right. You'd know better than me, Biggie.
A piston on the track is plenty, and there's a lot of
leave
space
me to my
move
strengths
around.
here.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I'll stay in my lane.
Biggie the area main.
Watch, the area puzzle's gonna come, and I'm gonna score better than I.
And you're gonna like kick ass, and I'm gonna sass you so hard for. I'm gonna make sure you're on comms for area. All right. Next up is a submission by 7.
We have Biggie's favorite metric on week 1 as well, cost.
Hey, I've liked cost from the beginning.
Yeah.
Area secondary is a little rough.
I hope I score well.
I'm liking how it's panning out. I'll be very coy about it, but I'm liking how both metrics are panning out.
I have to work on rates eventually, sometime. Have you started rate baking?
Started, yes. There are no complete solutions attached to my name that go into the rate category.
Uh,
Alright,
I
so
have
I'm
a
pretty
bunch
sure
of
this
rate
is...
45 minutes
engines that don't quite work yet.
Hmm?
I have a bunch of half-finished rate solves that are all comparing and contrasting.
I haven't really started with rate yet, but I'm the kind of person who just makes a solve and just whatever goes.
I won't tell you why, but Goodbye Galaxy's experience makes me go, yup, that's fair. That's definitely...
I don't even know what that means.
No, I can't tell you what it means, but
It's so nebulous.
I'm nodding and going, yep, that's what I expected to happen.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that certainly
Maybe a
is.
secondary for week 1 is nice, yeah.
Alright.
I'd probably do better if it were cycles, though, just like last year.
Biggie is one of those everything but cycles people.
I'm being cast through the mud.
Only fair because you. Only fair
Punishment
for
for all
your
that piston
pistons
talk.
some solve.
I'm getting drunk on power ever since that, and I found out that Piston did not make top 3 in some. I'm like, I'm on a ribbing high at the moment. Alright. Next showcase, we have Hello Jasper. Pivot arms required for min width. This is another min width solve, but this one actually fits on my screen nicely.
Oh yeah, because they did it.
So would this be WG? Maybe? Interesting the pivot arms are necessary though. Yeah, WJ, yeah. That's a damn shame that WG you need these pivot arms.
Yeah, there's nothing that can access those tiles, but pivoting on that hex in particular is the only way to stay in min width.
Because you need to be I think
Oof.
it needs to be a pivot, because a translate will take you outside of min width, and you need that access to that one particular hex to pivot, and the piston just can't reach.
And the idea of having the inputs just pointed the other way, you wouldn't be able to put the things on the bonder, because then you wouldn't have access to the bonder.
Yeah. And there's 2 outputs, so you need 2 pivot arms, which hurts even more. Alright, we're on this to completion.
You might be able to... Nah, it's the exact same problem.
Actually, right, I have rabbit mode. Yeah, that's better.
But me.
I'm gonna need to remember to do that next week. Alright. This one is...
And it's it's cost area.
So, this is a TG. This one has a piston in it. So yeah, this is why Hello Jasper asked me about pistons in TG. Sometimes they're just necessary, so I don't mind them. It's just, I do like it when you don't have access to that translational movement and you gotta, like, do shit with, like, handoffs on the regular, and I like that. I think TG is a more interesting metric with that constraint, and you don't have that constraint if you need a piston, so, yeah. Those are my real, fake, not fake, not for TikTok views, genuine thoughts.
I still don't quite know THG theory. It's not as clear cut as, just cost theory.
Nah.
Cost theory is easy.
I
I
think
won't talk much about it because it's an ongoing puzzle, but
But yeah, TG I think is still relatively unexplored. I think if you design the right puzzle, you could get like a banger TG like metric out of it.
Mhm.
All right.
How Jasper likes the slow metrics.
Yeah, all the slow metrics I think are more up Palo Jasper's alley.
Like, especially stuff like wasteful area. Ugh.
Wasteful area.
No one would ever make a puzzle and then learn after the fact that wasteful area is an incredibly challenging metric for it when the puzzle was already called Nightmare Fuel.
I'm seeing a pretty good Critelli spot, but it's not lore accurate, so that's okay. You get a pass. Oh yeah, right, rabbit mode. Whee! There you go. Oops. Alright, last one is submitted by Mr. Puzzle. Wait, which game is the 24? Oh, Mr. Puzzle knows I don't turn this mod off.
That's so cool.
Oh my
It
god.
just loads without a question.
I love that
Factory mod.
I love that he remembered that I never turn Infinifactory mod off. Oh, that's so good. Alright. Yeah, this is a sick solve too.
Armless.
Oh my god. At 1,288 G. Alright, best showcase. By far. This is awesome.
The dispatch area where it has a loop to make sure that it doesn't dispatch until there's time from everything else clearing out. Like, this is cool.
It has so these are all just sound bites taken from Infinifactory. Infinifactory has very good sound design in that case. Or at least it interacts well with the Opus Magnum sound design. Man. I reckon for the shitpost metric this year, I reckon we just like allow all mods and I'll just make sure I have them all turned on or whatever, and
You just
to
watch someone make a new mod just for the
Yeah, we have to send you a mod, and then you have to open that mod, and it's a complete free-for-all on what you're about to be opening.
I don't hate this idea. I'm just
a mod that doxes your IP address.
This is exactly like I would want to encourage exactly this kind of thing for a shitpost metric. So who knows?
That sounds really fun.
Watch this space.
It'll mostly be Mr. Puzzle's little playground, but
Mr. Puzzle is a very strong shitposter. I think he won the original shitpost metric with that brainfuck interpreter.
what was the first one?
Stab everything, wasn't
I
it?
think it was Stabilized Everything.
Yeah, didn't he win that with the brainfuck
Stab
interpreter?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, with quantum track and overlap, so that it was
Yeah.
a lot more intelligible than High AIs from long ago.
That's right, yeah. That one shitpost, like, that won it comfortably, if I remember correctly. It wasn't even close. In other words, it was a terrible shitpost.
And he also made the Adateus portrait,
Oh god.
which if you view it in the map that is part of his mod, then you could see.
I still love Madmaster's shitpost.
The Anati's copy pasta.
The Anadia's copy
The
pasta,
copy
yeah.
pasta was amazing.
And I loved how it was used the next year.
Oh, Caligarisis wrote it out.
Caligarisis' printer. Yeah. No, specifically though, like I remember Madmaster, you started to read it and then just stopped, and then he and Chad like, no, read the whole thing.
Oh, I did. That's right.
Hey guys, did you know that nothing is biased?
Physiologically speaking. Maybe Mr. Puzzle's a shitpost main. Because I've never really quite figured out Mr. Puzzle's main. Because like, I think he's slightly better at some than other metrics, but maybe he's a shitpost main this whole time.
He's got that creativity. Shitposting thrives.
Okay. I think I'm happy to wrap it up there.
3.5 hours well spent.
3.5 hours.
You want to introduce this week's puzzle?
Oh yeah. I'll do that. Let's show it on stream. It's in my
We're
downloads
gonna,
already.
talk about the metrics a bit in
Yeah.
case someone still doesn't know,
That's a fair point.
and probably give a little tips if you want. Some tips.
Some like vague, yeah, like
Yeah.
stuff that everyone can use. All right.
Here's a tip: use less cost to score better on the cost metric.
All right, so this is the week 1 puzzle. This is I'll just leave it on the screen. So this is blue vitriol. So the metrics for this puzzle are rate with a cost secondary, and cost with an area secondary. So yeah, this will be the first official scoring week. The scoring system is the same as normal. Well, same as last year, I should say, where there are no metric points. It's just you get points according to how well you rank. Can't think of any general tip. There's rate, I should say, is defined as the number of cycles required per output, assuming
Output set.
Yeah, assuming the solution loops. So if the solution loops and goes on forever, it is the amount of cycles required per set of outputs. So, yeah, you need to output both for it to count as rate, in other words.
And if that number isn't defined because the output rate continues to change, then it's probably going to have no rate.
Yeah. Actually,
Computation stuff can make it so that it gets slower each time you make an output,
boy.
but don't do
Yeah.
don't do that.
well, you
This
can't.
Transcendental guy here this year.
Opus Magnum in not Opus Magnum, Graham's number in Opus Magnum person now. That's me.
Actually, if you do that, if you manage to do that, it's like a rate. It's something that technically outputs forever but constantly slows down. I'll count it as scoring, but you get last place, like by default, pretty much.
Yeah,
Unless
you
there are
get
multiple.
infinity rate basically.
Yeah, unless multiple people do it, and then I have to worry about fast-growing hierarchies.
Approaches infinity.
I really.
Do we have to rate them by how fast it slows down?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I do. So if more than one person does it,
I feel like Biggie will submit proper rates of.
if more than one person
Yeah,
does
I'm
it.
not gonna stack my score here. I have access to Biggie Mac 42, so
Yeah, I'll actually be keeping an eye out for that this week.
Submit under a different name.
Oh yeah, Smalley Jack 24.
this new submitter Word Nerd 42. Same person who got
Mac
23
43.
cycles. Now you already know that my alt is Word Nerd.
Word nerd.
Wait, it is.
Yeah, when I posted the by the way, has anyone ever done 23 cycles for Letharge separation? And I posted the GIF that had very subtle overclocking. As a newcomer, I was Word Nerd.
So there's a YouTube channel. It's like an Australian cheesemaker YouTube channel, and he starts every video by saying "G'day, what curd nerds."
Oh gosh.
That sounds so Australian.
It's so good. All right. So with that, let's check any blue vitriol questions in chat. Nah. All right.
Nah, I think most people understand it. Yeah.
right.
Blue Vitriol is fun. Go try it out.
I think it's a really good puzzle. Go try it out.
Don't mix up salt and Quicksilver, by the way.
No, yeah, one of them has Quicksilver, the other has salts, and watch out for that. All right. I think that'll do it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Whether it's live or you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch as a VOD, I'm looking forward to this year's tournament. So I'll just ask you this on stream best. Do you do spreadsheets for week 0 normally?
I usually include them in like the spreadsheet, but they don't count towards scoring.
Okay.
We can start the spreadsheet when we finish week 1. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll worry about it next week. All right then. Other than that,
Yeah. You can
thank you.
send me the stuff though. I can tell you how to do it.
All right. I'll DM you about it later then. But yeah,
Okay.
thank you to my fellow commentators for helping me with this stream.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for hosting,
Yeah.
Zorflex. I'm looking forward to the
Mhm.
tournament.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate this a lot. This is fun.
If this is what you consider the worst puzzle, I'm looking forward to everything else.
I'm not expecting everyone to agree with me that this is the worst puzzle, but that's a
I mean, of
bridge.
course, it's gonna be the nightmare puzzle,
That's
I
a.
imagine. But
We'll cross that
which
bridge.
week is that gonna be?
We'll cross that bridge later.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Catches.
See ya.
Alrighty, see ya.